Flash red motherfucker.
Obviously, opinion is gonna be different.
Yeah, signing back in, baby.
Not at the level that he was after he died. No.
So you're saying before his death? Me personally, in my opinion, bro, he's
an icon.
Nah, that was thugged out.
yeah, that wasn't no.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
You have no vote. With that being said, world, welcome to
The Great American Hip Hop Debate. Hip Hop Debate. Hip Hop Debate. Hip Hop Debate.
Welcome to the Great American Hip Hop Debate.
All right. Santana, we recording. Santana, shout out Santana in the building. Shout out my niece Ash, our camera lady for today in the building, shooting video and pictures. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to the brothers that are not here today. Not here like on the phone. They're physically still here. God bless them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Black. Getting his Becks on, or is that Heineken? Heineken, but they ain't pay us, so no commercial.
Yeah.
Heineken. Black was goody. You missed last week. How you feeling?
Yes, I did. Feeling good. Good. Glad to be back.
Everything straight? Good?
Everything's good. Everything's straight.
Good. Any opinions on last topic since you wasn't here? Best female MC?
Yeah. Excuse me. I had my own, my own choice off of who I thought was great. I agree Lauryn Hill was top notch. I was revisiting the Scorchers this week, and she murdered that shit. Murdered it.
All right.
So she
but
definitely
who gets your
deserves
point? Who gets your vote? Excuse me.
You know what? I wouldn't say she necessarily got my vote, right? I mean, I'm sorry, my top choice, but Mia X for sure gets dope recognition.
So
without
Mia
a doubt.
X is your choice for best female MC
Not
of all
best,
time?
but that's just who I would have thrown in the
Who's
pot.
your favorite female MC of
My
all time?
favorite, damn. You know what? It probably would have been Lauren too. Yeah, had I been a part of it.
What female rapper do you hate?
Oh, Nicki Minaj. I can't stand that bird. Ooh, I hate her.
That's you.
Yeah,
I can't stand
All
it.
right.
I
Welcome
hate
back, brother Black.
Thank
brother
you, thank
Harv.
What up? What up?
How you living? Living large? Psh, I
Living
still got it, baby.
Oh wow! Still dropping unwanted bars. Yeah, no, I'm still here, baby. You know,
Man,
we
good
here
to
doing
see
it.
you. Good to see you, brother
it's
Harv,
good
brother
to be
Black.
seen. Good to be seen, baby.
I am Burns. Welcome, world, to the Great American Hip Hop Podcast. Excuse me, the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. Damn, I was trying to do my pre-show stretches, and I still feel tired. I still feel a little out of it. And brother Mook on the check-in. Brother Mook, do you hear
What
me?
up? What up?
How you
What up,
living?
world?
How you doing?
What up, y'all? What up, listeners? What up, my brothers in the lab? Burn Gully with the Scully.
Oh, you still got it too? Oh, we coming back this year, baby. Word up.
The resurrection.
Nah, but damn, it's good to hear you. You sound good, man. I hope all is well. Shout out to J Kid, who couldn't be on this week's episode. He had to handle some personal business, so shout out to him.
Word.
Shout out to Brother
East
Nice,
Twin.
sending him some positive vibes. You know, he's a little under the weather right now, so we're
Word.
sending him some love.
Get well, nice.
Yeah, now we back at it. Let me turn this energy up. We're here today with a dope topic, I think, and we're actually going to switch up the format today. So we're not going to really be debating too much. Today we're going to do like a roundtable discussion where we're going to list off our personal top 5 producers. When I say personal, I mean this criteria for your selection is based on your preference and what, in your opinion, makes a good producer So everybody's list is going to be different. Obviously, everybody's criteria won't be the same, most likely. And what we want the fans or the listeners to do is to vote on who had the best list, or send your own list, or tell us to go fuck ourselves and we don't know shit about shit. Whatever you feel, just leave some comments, some interaction. We need some interaction.
Need that
So we
feedback.
can, yeah, exactly. Although we've been getting some good positive feedback, so shout out to everybody who has reached out and giving us their thoughts and giving us their critiques. That's always appreciated. Support is always appreciated. So thank y'all for that. Now, top 5 producers list. I want to start with Brother Black, because Brother Black, aka the Black Don, aka the Last Don, was not here last week. So I want to start with him. So first off, please explain to me more or less what your criteria is for a great producer or your favorite producer. So go ahead, kid. The floor is yours.
What makes a great producer to me? Not only, is he or she a hit maker, not only can they produce radio-friendly hits as well as that hardcore, raw energy music, motivational music, but, as a whole, I look at it too as to what artists, look to work with them also,
Okay.
Yes.
So you factor in who they've collaborated with.
100%.
Okay. I feel
Exactly.
you.
Heavy
Okay.
hitters,
You always got to remember a good producer, or even the best producer, ain't really much of anything if you don't have an artist
True
on the
that.
track, unless we're talking like jazz production where there's no vocals necessary, or even EDM or something. But hip hop production, which we are discussing,
Right.
most 99% of the time needs an MC on it.
Without a
All
doubt.
right, so that's your criteria. You like the hit makers that can make the street shit, make the hit shit, the radio shit, and you like the people that can vary their collaborative efforts.
Without a doubt.
Can I get your number 5?
You know what? And though that's what the point of the debate, the podcast is today. I know we're supposed to go off of like top 5, but I'm gonna switch it up, and because I happen to like absolutely every single one of these, mine are in no particular order.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all right.
Fair enough.
Now, I'm just gonna throw the names out first, and I guess we go.
Well, I
from
don't
there.
want all 5, so
Okay.
just give me one.
Okay, word.
In
All right.
no order.
In no particular order. First, we start with Havoc from Mobb Deep.
All right, now tell me why.
Okay. Since I first heard him, and this goes back to hearing the Infamous, I was never up on Juvenile Hell, but just listening off the Infamous, the fact that he produced every single track minus Q-Tip, the one that Q-Tip made, I just loved his whole style, real, gutter.
All right. Do you have a favorite or favorites
As far as
tracks that he's done?
you know what is, I'm not gonna lie. For every single producer, there's just so many tracks. So I can't even say that I have necessarily a favorite.
Just tell us the one that comes to your head.
Oh,
The first one that comes to your head.
Right. Okay. Off the bat, Quiet Storm. Absolutely love it, and I'm talking about the original. Not even not saying nothing bad on the remix, but it's just not only was the beat so dope and so fly, but it almost feels to me like Prodigy when he went in the booth to spit. Just the combination of the production and what he was coming with, like it just meshed so well.
Yeah, Havoc. I fuck with Havoc. Definitely all of
Absolutely.
the Infamous. Definitely the Hell on Earth album. He did a track for Biggie that was crazy on Life After Death. He did some work on Prodigy solo album. Dope shit. Yeah, legend. Havoc's a legend, man. He got a bunch of hits. Harv, that's your man, no?
Yeah. I fucks with heavy, man. I do. Even though I'll be honest, he didn't make it into my list, but he's definitely in there. Like
What?
he's definitely a top-notch producer. He's done not only amazing work with Mobb Deep, on all their albums, minus Juvenile Hell because he wasn't producing on Juvenile Hell. But he's also done great work with outside artists. One of my favorite tracks of all time that he produced, that he had just happened to produce, was Shoot 'Em Up by Nas, which was on the Nostradamus album. And to me, that beat, the way it comes in, and it was prototypical Havoc at the time. You know what I'm saying? You start off with the hi-hat, you give him the sample, then you get the kick, and then boom, you hit him with the snare or whatever, or backwards. But just the way he composed that beat, and then the way that Nas topped it off with his flow, because he switched up his flow on some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? To me, I thought they both brought out the best in each other in that particular song.
Shoot 'Em Up is the Christmas beat?
Yes.
The Christmas
That's the
beat?
one.
Yeah,
No. It's not a Christmas beat. It's the Christmas flow.
Yes, Christmas flow.
Yeah.
That's
what
like
it
the
is.
only one I don't like, I think.
That's how Nas flows. And to me, to even think of that, and the way he was able to fit it on that beat, I suggest anybody that's a lover of both flow, because his lyrics on that, he was telling a story. His lyrics, and then anybody that's a lover of fucking just crisp, dark production, go listen to that song. Shoot 'Em Up on the Nostradamus album by Nas.
Now, Mook, I hear you say that's the one you don't like.
I gotta cut him off.
Go ahead.
I gotta cut him off because that's one of the only songs that I might not like that he produced. Because you're talking about a man that got classics like, Survival of the Fittest, Eye for an Eye. Like Black said, he produced so many songs on the infamous Hell on Earth. But the most classic one that I thought Harv would have mentioned, because being that he's our in-house producer, he sounds so much like Havoc with the raw gutter samples. I thought he would have said Shook One's Part 2 when he sampled the stove turning on. Man, ain't nothing more classic than that. Who else can say that they sampled something so grimy and what it means to just the crack era, the stove itself? You know what I mean?
The connotation
Just
of the
fact that
actual.
he's cooking. He's about to start cooking is what he's saying on that beat.
Yeah, all right, Mook, while you're next in rotation, what's your definition of a good or a great or your favorite producer? What's your criteria?
All right, I did it in terms of like categories from like when we started talking about this subject. So I wrote several things down that came to my mind, being in no particular order like Black said, but something to the effect of musical composition, artist carrying on the track, song quality, hip hop relevancy of that song or songs, and just whether or not the song is considered a classic, because I'm going song for song on what I think are dope songs for each producer.
That sounds like scientific or some shit. That shit you just said.
I'm a mad scientist. You know me.
No, and I say that with no malicious intent. I'm not trying to shit on you, but like, would you say whether the song is a classic or not? What if it's not a classic on the in the industry sense, and it's just a classic to you, and it's just a dope song? Does that affect or sway your decision?
I'm very opinionated, and I like what I like, but also I can conform to the popular culture. So, if it's like a pop song or if it's a song that a lot of people like, most likely I liked it as well, especially if it was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I just said, Shook Ones by Havoc, by Mobb Deep, it was more or less a popular song. What do you think?
Shook Ones was
that's a popular song.
That's one of their most popular songs, if not their
Exactly.
most popular.
Exactly. So when you compare that song to the song that you said, Harv, Shoot 'Em Up, regardless of how you feel about the beat, you know what I mean? The song makes more of a difference than the feeling that you get. Because when I hear that song, I feel like punching somebody in the face. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm trying to
Makes me
get
feel
at, though.
hype.
Like, it gives you
I
a
get a feeling
strong
from it.
feeling.
Well, no, and
Exactly.
that's the exact point I was trying to make, because when I explain my criteria, it's largely based on feeling. I don't give a fuck about radio spins. I don't give a fuck if it's a classic or not. I
Yeah.
don't even give a fuck
Yeah,
if
I
it
mean-
made an album. If it made me feel good, that's a good
Yeah.
fucking song.
And that's
That's
course,
the
of
music
course.
like that touches me is feeling and vibe is. That's my number one
course.
priority when it comes to music. But I'll go into that when I go into my shit. All right. So with your explanation
yeah, of
and
course.
everything, what are you giving these producers in order? And if you are, what's your number 5? And if you're not, just give me one of yours.
So pretty much, yeah, they are going to be in order. I made some last minute adjustments. My 5th pick is going to be Pete Rock.
All right.
I fuss with Pete Rock heavy, man. He got a lot of classic songs, and that's what I mean, classic. Like, he just got classic songs, you know, off Nas album, off, you know, him and CL Smooth album, and he's very jazzy. And me as being a jazz enthusiast, I love samples, especially jazz samples. And I feel like nobody does it better than Pete Rock when you're talking about jazzy, man. He's nasty with it. He got some hits. Just with Troy, that song Troy.
Yeah, that was my
Over You.
first. That was my first thought when you said Pete Rock, and
Yeah, man.
and you know the feelings
know.
that song can give you. So definitely, he's
Yeah, you
I'll give
know.
him props on that.
The World Is Yours by Nas. If you listen to that beat, it's a grimy song, but if you listen to the beat, it's so jazzy, man. It's a dope head knocker.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you like this. As far as jazz samples, yeah, that's a dope sample. Like the way he cut those samples up for "The World Is Yours," that's crazy. You know, though, and you would listen to, and if you heard the actual song, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't be able to pick out the samples. I don't think you would.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
which is also another mark, in my opinion, of a great producer. If you're gonna sample, if you're a sample-based producer, you know what I'm saying.
And also, he's one of the first and one of the only producers to have his own album. You know what I mean? Because he also raps and he produces.
Yeah.
He slept on as a rapper, but obviously he's considered more producer, you know. But he slept on as a rapper, and for him to have his own album, regardless if it be features or him rapping on it, So Brother #1, that shit was classic, man. That shit was dope.
Yeah. He had a couple albums that he put out actually.
Not for nothing, Nando, but there's not a lot of rappers that could pull off the production rapper and be nice at both, you know?
Exactly.
Another one
Yeah.
that I could think off the top of my head is Diamond D, obviously the RZA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are a couple that I could. Tony Touch even, he was pretty nice. Both.
Tony Touch. Kanye, you know.
Yeah, but supposedly Ye doesn't write his own lyrics, so does he even count
Yeah.
when it comes to that?
All right, we don't want to go too far off.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Right.
Really bad.
All right,
So my
so
fifth
P-Rock,
pick is
P-Rock,
P-Rock.
that's
My
all
brother,
right.
yes,
That's
sir.
a good pick. That's
Yeah.
a solid pick. He has a song on a Kanye album, like a features. I
Throne.
mean, like a bonus song or something.
Yeah, on Throne.
That's really dope.
yeah.
All right,
I
so
think it's called The
hard.
Joy.
Yeah, The Joy. That's a very good song.
Mm-hmm.
As the in-house producer
Mm.
and
Favorite
the
producer,
sample,
favorite producer.
the sample king.
VSOP,
what's your criteria
AKA explicit.
for a great producer?
Well, as far as concerned with my list, I'm going in chronological order because I feel these 5 producers, either defined or just ruled the era that they were in. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go in chronological order. That's how I'm basing my list. Now, as far as to me, what makes a great producer, you don't necessarily have to sample, because to me, sampling is an art in itself. To take something else, like somebody else's music, and I don't mean just sampling like taking a 4-bar loop, you know what I mean, just letting it ride, you know, and oh, that's my song, you know, that anybody could do, not anybody, but most people could do that. I'm talking about taking a sample and chopping it up, 2-second samples, and then rearranging them to make it sound like something totally different just with those instruments. To me, that's art in itself. And then laying a track under that, like a drum track or even a bass track, and to me, that's art. You know, so that to me is what I would consider, you know, the marks of a great producer. You know,
Yo,
being
my
able
bro,
to-
my bro, and
Yep.
don't nobody do it better than you. Don't nobody do it better than you. If people can hear your tracks, how you used to do it, we used to ask ourselves, like, how did you sample this and do this? We don't get it.
Well,
So
With
what
a
about people
variety
that
drum
say
pattern.
sampling is whack and only like all original production?
I would say try it. I would say show me you can make a beat with sampling and make it sound dope and make it, to me, like you just said, Mook, it has to evoke emotion. It has to evoke something. It has to get something. It has to stir something inside of you.
All right, so question. Your list is going in chronological order, so is it also in order of your favorites, or do your favorites just happen to land in chronological order? Or is it that you're just doing your list in time order?
Yeah, I'm doing my list in time order.
Okay.
And these producers, these 5 producers are also my favorites. You know,
Whose
They're-
phone is that?
that's not mine. That can't be my phone. My phone's not even hooked up.
That was a phone, right? I'm not bugging, am I?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's probably getting emails and shit.
Yeah, I don't know how to sync his phone and all that.
No doubt. All right.
Oh, shit. All right.
So
My bad.
as I was saying,
All right, so number 5 or 1970s. No.
y'all some funny motherfuckers.
Nah, all right, so give me your first entry into your list.
My first entry into my list will be the great Marley Marl, and I put him at number 5 because to me he was the architect of the golden sound. I mean the golden era sound. You know, the boom bap, what they call boom bap rap. You know, he was the architect of it.
Was he like the first superstar producer?
Right
Right around Eric B? Was he right before Eric B?
He was right before Eric B. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he worked around the same time. They, like I said in the previous, they all ran in the same circles.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but he was the one that started sampling James Brown records, and not only just sampling them, he was taking like James Brown, he was taking drum tracks and cutting them up and making them drum beats, and then adding another, like layering samples to make totally different music.
Right.
He was one of the first to do that. Cause before, like if you listen to early rap, I'm talking about like the inception of rap, like from the late 70s now to the early 80s, it was very synthesized based. Like they were using a lot of synthesizers.
Right.
Yeah, it sounded more like housey.
Yeah, they
It
and
came
also
from disco.
exactly right. I was just gonna
Yep.
say that the first hip hop hit was basically
A disco song.
It was
Rapper's
a disco
Delight.
song by Chic.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So-
yeah, she was the
Oh,
original.
yeah.
Chic, they
With
just
that
took the
female
Chic
rapper.
and they just looped it up
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
rapped
yeah.
over it. That's all they did.
Was
You know
that
what I mean?
Blondie? Was that Blondie hard?
No,
that
it
you
was
talking
Chic.
about?
Chic.
Okay, that's not. It's not that.
The Sugar
Blondie.
Hill
That
Gang
was-
took
Okay.
Chic Good Times.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so he was one of the first ones to take drum tracks from other songs and use them. Like James Brown had the illest rhythm section, one
Right.
of the illest rhythm sections in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way it was, you just got to go back and listen to it. Love James Brown, go listen to that. But he was one of the first ones to take that and make totally different beats just by sampling, not even using, you know, like how can I put it, imported sounds. Like for kicks and snares and hi-hats, he would just use complete all samples. And that to me was genius. Look at some of his best work was that Mama Said Knock You Out. All samples. Now, he probably added maybe a bass in there or whatever, like a boom or whatever, but it was amazing. He helped bring LL back because
Yeah, that's a classic song.
Not
Mama
even that
Said
song.
Knock You Out.
He produced that whole record.
The whole album.
The whole album, he produced the whole thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he brought LL back because that's when everybody was hating on LL.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
was after a
He
mediocre
went back
album.
to his Queens flavor.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not for nothing. I'm surprised Marley
And
Marl.
that was a few years after Marley had done Juice Crew.
that was 1990.
Yeah.
Right.
Way
That was
after,
1990.
Yeah, so he
Juice
was a
Crew
little
was-
out. Not that he was like out the game, but
Not really. Juice Crew was what? 3 years before that. I
Yeah.
mean, but then again,
Seven,
relative
86.
back then, 3 years in hip hop was a lifetime.
exactly. That was
Right.
awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
He could have been forgotten by then.
Yeah.
And they kind of both brought each other back.
And like we were going before, expanding on like what Chris was saying on who they work with. I mean, Marley's worked with every fucking body. You know what I'm saying? And all the top producers all go back to him. They're like, yo, Marley was the one. Marley was the one that was sampling this. And
I don't know that Marley ever worked with Biggie, by the way. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, he's dope. He's still
Probably
dope.
not.
But yeah, he's still dope. Though. No doubt. All right.
Yeah,
Hard-
but
I
hard,
knew he was gonna come up.
I seen tragedy. I seen tragedy shouting out Marley Marl the other day.
because he put them on.
And I was
Of
like,
course.
It's Queensbridge.
Tragedy,
Marley's from
old school.
Queensbridge.
Right.
But-
Cormega.
You know who else? You know who else was around that boom bap? Scholar Rock in the BX.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you know where Burns mentioning.
But even if you listen, like me and Burns were talking about this. You know, he's like, oh, you're gonna mention Marley, but you know, Scholar Rock killed him on. You know,
That's right. We did talk about that.
you know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, but look what I go back to what I was saying before. If you listen to The Bridge Is Over, you know what I mean? That you could tell was strictly made on a drum machine. You know, and they just
the
took us.
bridge is over.
Yeah, the drum track, the whole. Besides that piano, and they probably played that. They probably added that in by themselves. I don't think they sampled that.
Did y'all ever hear the story that was a Marley beat?
Was
I
it?
did.
There
yes.
you go. Boom.
I was
No,
going
I
to
never
elaborate
heard
on
that.
that. A
Yeah.
quick little black fact. This is off of the
Here we go.
the hip hop documentary on Netflix,
Black.
and this came
Fact.
from Marley's own mouth.
Go ahead.
That when Scott LaRock and KRS went into the studio, because they happen to be in the same studio, but you know, different sessions. They went into Big Up Marley because, you know, they respected his work and all that. And they played music for him. Marley wasn't too impressed. So the vibe was like, you know, it's alright or whatever. They took offense to it. They went back to their session. Supposedly after Marley and them finished their session, they left. Supposedly KRS and Scott went into the studio, took a beat, a sample of some sort, and there you go. They didn't mention what song was, you know, made off of Marley's work, but it could very well be assumed that it was that. The bridge is over. Yep.
Yeah. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
think Marley had left like a beat,
Uh-huh.
reel, or a tape, and so he unintentionally produced his own downfall. Oh,
That's amazing.
Yep.
And this amazing hip hop fact has been brought to you by Black Facts.
So there you go. That's my first entry on my list is Marley Marl, the great Marley Marl.
Good choice.
indeed, yeah,
Good choice.
Definitely classic.
Yep.
Definitely a legend.
Yes.
I keep looking at my list, right? Because I got my 5 honorable mentions on one side, and then I got my 5 my 5 picks on the other side, and I keep forgetting which side is which.
Jesus.
All right, so when it comes to producers, for me, my criteria is simple. Like, it's all about the feeling that they give you. It's all about the vibe, the feeling that you get when the music comes on, like instantly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
The memories that are made to these songs. So there's music that we vibed out to in 96, 97 that we vibe out to today, and we most likely get the same feeling. You know, it almost takes us back in time to that moment.
Time machine, baby.
I don't care so much if the beat's sampled, if it's all original, if
Right.
it's barely a beat, if it's a 20-piece orchestra making the beat. I just like good fucking music. I like when a producer brings out the best in an artist. I like when the music is put together well. I'm a fan of dramatics. I'm a fan of theatrics. I like the big organs and violins and horns.
That lush sound.
Yeah, I like large soundscapes. I don't care if a song is 9 minutes long. If the shit takes me on a journey, you know what I'm saying? I like build up, and then I like when the shit
Crescendo.
drops. Yeah,
Crescendo.
and there's just a fucking explosion of emotion. So that's my criteria personally. You know, it could be the #1 producer in the world, or it could be Fugi producer from down the block.
You just
But-
described the porn scene, actually.
A porn scene. If you
Okay.
put, you totally threw me off my whole fucking concentration right now.
Sorry.
Fuck, I was on a roll.
Sorry.
I guess, yeah, whatever. So, damn, you fucked me up right there. Yeah, so I like
He loves
That.
you high. You high,
Yeah.
right?
So, my number 5, and this is my number 5, so it's in order of my favorites. So my number 5 is the Justice League, largely based off what they did for Rick Ross, and more specifically the Maybach Music series. I believe they're up to number 6. So each one,
Yeah.
you know, is a different song, and each song has different features. But if you listen to that shit, like that to me is like museum hip hop. That's like some shit that maybe you should only be playing it in a Maybach or in a fucking mansion or some shit. Like if ever I get rich and I get the fucking penthouse skyloft whatever. Like I don't know if I'm gonna play some grimy hip hop in there. I might only listen to fucking Justice League and fancy hip hop and violins and shit. So yeah, my favorite shit they've done is their work with Rick Ross. And my most specific favorite shit is the Maybach music shit.
What's your favorite beat? At least, you know, the first one that comes to your mind.
Again, all the whole Maybach series, and then after that, if not, like the favorite album that I have for Ross is I think it was the third one.
What? God Forgives, I Don't.
Nah, before that, damn. Was it the Teflon Don?
Yeah.
I think it had like I think I'm Big Meech on it or some shit.
yeah.
And they had just beautiful songs on there. He has a song with John Legend on there. He had a song with Nelly and Avery Storm, I believe his name was. I think it's on the same album. Yeah, so the work that they did with him is to me just really nice, really beautiful music, you know. The instruments, it doesn't sound like samples. It sounds like they brought in live musicians to play exactly what it was that they wanted, and unless they played it themselves, but it all sounded organic and just put together like if they was putting together a concerto and shit. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. They always do that, man. They always do that.
But that you got to remember too. Those, what is it? 2 of them you said?
It's 2 of them, yeah. It's
Yo,
a
those
duo.
2 dudes, they're real musicians though. They are actual musicians.
Yeah, they're trained
exactly
musicians.
trained musicians.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, exactly.
So to me, they
It
made
had to have been because they are classical.
Oh no, they are.
Like,
It's a proven fact.
yes,
Aston Martin music, didn't they do that?
yeah. Aston Martin music, they definitely did.
They did mad shit. They did
and
mad
that's
shit.
a dope
Bro,
song.
that shit is classic. Yeah, man.
That's a
There's
good
a
pick,
song that Rick Ross has, Burns. I was gonna tell you if you look it up. It's with Usher, and it's not a popular song. He has a couple with Usher. It's gonna be one. that it sounds like it has the saxophone from the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if I can find that song, I'm gonna send it to you. If that was Justice League, I give them even more props because I know a lot of stuff that they produce. Like you said, I listen to a lot of that stuff, and they are very dope. They are very dope.
All right, so the album I was thinking was Deeper Than Rap. So on this album, they got Mafia music, which is fire. Then they got Maybach music too, which is fire. Magnificent, which is dope, and it uses a sample that I believe Prodigy used. Yacht Club, whatever. Valley of Death, super hard, and then In Cold Blood, super hard. So based on this album and their previous work, that's my number 5, Justice League.
Nice.
That's yacht music. That's mansion music. That's fucking dope $200,000 car music. That's the feeling it gives me, you know, inspiration, aspiration, motivation. And on top of that, it's fucking sounds beautiful. So that's mine. Brother Black, we coming back to you.
You know what? If I could just add to what you were just talking about, I wish I could vibe with what you're saying regarding Justice League, but I've never been a big Rick Ross fan.
Well, they've done work with other people. They don't work exclusively with Ross.
Right.
So,
you know what?
I'm sure if you Google them, you can probably find them collaborating with an artist.
Right. To their credit, I loved the intro that they did on Life Is Good with Nas. Absolutely killed that intro.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
All right. There
And
you
I
go.
was just put onto the album years later by actually you, Money Burns, coincidentally.
Yeah, that's a really good album.
Yes. I had slept on it, but I've since, I'm up on it now.
Yeah. That might be Nas's third or fourth classic album. Not fourth best, just like he just every few years just like
Comes out with
is
something.
able to drop a classic album.
Yeah.
Now, I've been told by Nas enthusiasts that by far that's his best work since. Like, he hasn't dropped anything better since.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because I mean, what was after that? Nasir, right?
I think
I
only
love Nasir. Personally,
Nah, he
I
had
love
the
it.
other one. He
What
had
other
the other one that he dropped.
Which one?
With that song "Cops." What's that? Wasn't it an album with Was that Nasir? With
with Kanye.
West? Was
Yeah,
it?
that's
Yeah. That's Nasir, dog.
That's
Yep.
Nasir, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's just pretty fire.
Yeah, I happen to love that album, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's a dope album also.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people hated it.
Mm-hmm.
It got a lot of backlash, but I thought it was a dope album. I thought it was a dope concept and everything, and they got that off. Kanye's the man. Fuck that.
True indeed. All right, Black. Your list is not in any order.
Right, in no
give
particular
me,
order.
Your second random producer.
Oh,
that you
okay.
love.
Without a doubt, Bobby Digital, The Abbott, The RZA.
All right, that's also actually my number 4. So we're in sync there.
Right.
That's my number 3.
Just remember though, mine he doesn't necessarily earn number 4 rank on my
Right,
joint.
right,
He's just
right.
on there regardless. But
Right.
who can deny the RZA? He's the reason why we love Wu-Tang. Not to say that the brothers weren't spitters, but he made us pay attention
He
Yeah.
crafted that sound.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
He gave them the soundscape,
Mm-hmm.
and it matched what they were doing perfectly.
Exactly.
And then he also had such a prolific run, from the onset of his career
Mm-hmm.
till what? When did Wu-Tang Forever come out? 97?
97. Yep, the double.
Right.
Yeah.
So he did 36 Chambers. He did
Old
the
Dirty.
Meth album. He
Right.
did Old Dirty's album. He did Cuban Links album.
Right.
He did Iron Man
Iron
album.
Man.
He did Liquid Swords.
Right.
Then, I
He-
believe, was
he did
Wu-Tang Forever?
Wu-Tang
Then
Forever.
Wu-Tang Forever.
Yep.
Then
And
he did.
then he continued. But I think after Wu-Tang Forever, it was the beginning of
Well,
the of
he
the,
was
downhill.
on Supreme, and Supreme had dope RZA beats on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't all RZA, You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He always continued to put out dope music, but I mean, I think that was the end of his run.
Right.
Began at Wu
the
Tang
decline,
Forever.
yeah.
Yeah, the decline happened.
yeah.
But that run right there, that's what 7 classic albums, and to me, he had hit his peak on Wu Tang Forever. Due to the documentary that's showing now, like I had to go back and revisit all the Wu Tang albums in order, and they were all dope. You know, I meant to tell y'all the Method Man album that we kind of bashed one time is actually it's pretty dope album, and it's got some of Raekwon's beats.
Yeah, when they do the intro to Meth First Chef,
Right.
they got
That first chef is hard.
but the intro, they play the beginning of. They play the beat for Guillotine that they all spit on Cuban Link.
Right, it sounds like a rough version because I don't think they have the drums on Meth vs. Chef.
Yeah,
But,
they do. It plays in the background.
But yeah, it's actually a pretty dope album. So
Yeah.
that run that he had to me is what makes him classic. And then, like I said, he continued to put out quality work. Because then he did Bobby Digital down the line.
That was dope.
They've done more Wu albums. He worked with Big, Grave Diggers. Oh well, that was actually early. That was actually right after 36 Chambers. That was the first next album he did.
But still, great work on it.
So yeah, definitely a long list of classic songs. You know, Cream, Rainy Days, Can It Be Also Simple, the whole Tang Forever.
One of my favorite beats on the Grave Diggers album, 6 Feet Deep, is the first shit, Constant Elevation. That beat is so hard, yo. You listen to that shit, if that shit doesn't do something to you, you're fucking soulless.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
definitely I agree with the RZA Black. Any favorite songs that you can list off?
Yeah, without a doubt, verbal intercourse. You know, you had mentioned about a producer being somebody that brings the best out in the MC. Nas that day came to spit. He came ready to spit, and the fact that it was a RZA track, you know, the rest was history after that, man.
You know the story on the Nas verse on Verbal Intercourse?
I do not.
They say he was spitting random verses to the beat in an attempt to select what verse would be recorded, and that when he spit the verse that ended up on the album, like you know how everybody kind of be in the studio in their own zone looking around, whatever, boom, boom. You know, when he did the verse, that's when everybody like shot their heads up and they was all paying attention and they was all quiet and they were like, and once it ended, they was like, yeah, you know, obviously that's the verse. So that was when Ray and Ghost told him like, yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah, and in the interviews, I don't mean to cut you off, but in other interviews, Ghost says it. He's like, that's what inspired me to write, like to get into my writer's bag, to have to outshine everybody on every album. That's why I say Ghost is fucking amazing. Iron Man, amazing album.
And that's another aspect of a great producer is that they'll bring the best out of an artist.
Exactly.
And they can even make a mediocre artist sound, you know, top notch.
Sure.
All right. So, anything else on the RZA, brother?
Just, you know, back to what you said. Just due to the people that have reached out to work with him, Biggie once again being one of them. A little quick black fact regarding that for people that are a fan of Life After Death, and this is just what I might have read off of Double XL. That, you know, it turns out that when RZA turned the track into Puff, you know, Puff pretty much sent RZA on his way, like, all right, we got it from here. And apparently when they got to the studio for Biggie to drop the rhyme, they put the track up and everything. RZA's style is so freaking complex that they couldn't figure out where, you know, certain instruments and, you know, fucking, you know, cymbals and all that crazy shit.
They couldn't master.
They couldn't master the track, so they had to ask the RZA to come back and actually, you know, engineer the shit. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot right there.
I remember hearing that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Feel me?
RZA's complex. His production is sonically simple, but if you really listen to it, like there's a lot of shit going on, and there's
Yes.
a lot of sounds,
Yes.
layered and samples, and the way he flips shit, and like the ice cream sample that when you hear the original, you're just like, damn, how the fuck is that even? How do you even think
How
of
do
that?
you even like out of the, because if you listen to the original, which I told y'all on the other pod on episode 2, that's Earl Clue, and it's called Sounds of Love or Songs of Love or whatever. You listen to that whole thing, and Earl Clue is killing the guitar. To find that piece, slow it down, track it, put it under. Oh man, it's just
loop it up.
incredible. Oh my god, man! And like I said, you listen to the rest of it, and it's dope. But he chose that, and it became a classic. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, and he's done that,
Countless times.
exactly. Yeah, Rainy Days to me is ill. The sample and the beat and the violins, and then yeah, I fuck with RZA.
And RZA, forgive me if you should ever hear this, but brother, I feel that you must have been dusted or coked up sniffing something, some out of this world shit that, for you to come up with these ill ass beats and samples and all that shit, bro. Because the average human being just can't do it, man.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
That's all I gotta say about that.
He's not average though.
Yeah,
He's-
Yeah, he's the Abbott. Exactly.
yeah. He's the Abbott. True.
He earned his names. All right, so Mook, any input on the RZA real quick, or can you give us your number 4?
Yeah, I'll go into the Riz a little bit later, but my number 4 is gonna be Kanye West.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, man. That's my
Yeah, he's
that's,
on my list too.
Yeah, he's on.
yeah, he's very misunderstood, and you can say different things about him, and there's things that he's done that I don't agree with, and music choices that he's made that I don't agree with. But when I went back and did the listening, just songs like All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, Diamonds Are Forever, H to the Izzo, Where Have You Been on the Rock La Familia album. He just, I don't know how he arranges the music that gives you a feeling that, and you could say he's very sample happy, but at the same time, I guess he just knows what samples to pick, you know what I mean? It gives me a feeling that takes me to a different place. I remember where I was for a lot of the music that he's dropped, and and like I said, him as a rapper, he's strong as well, regardless if he's been written for or not. I mean,
it's funny that you mentioned
he can.
It's funny that you mentioned Kanye right after the RZA, because to me he's a disciple of the RZA, and he kind of brought back what the RZA was doing. But yeah, Kanye's definitely one of my favorite producers as well. Classic songs, classic albums, definitely different moods that he can put you in.
Yeah.
I love watching Kanye perform. I think he puts on a great show.
He's amazing.
So what he does with his music in concert, where he can fuck with a song and make it bigger and make it more of an orchestra arrangement type of thing. That's when I really fuck with him. That's the bag I like to see him in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not gonna get too much into Kanye West because he's on both of our lists, so we're gonna have to also discuss him later. But I definitely do agree.
Yeah. You can discuss him and how you feel, though. I mean.
Yeah, and just the fact that you said that he puts on a dope show, that's what I mean. He can rap, and a lot of people remember his current stuff because he's on it. But if you go back and do the listening, him, producing for people like Jay-Z, he put out the whole Blueprint and other songs, miscellaneous songs.
Yeah, well,
and,
he did. Imagine that he was Rockefeller's in-house producer.
Yeah.
Like that's
Exactly.
a crazy
Exactly.
thought, and him and Just Blaze, you know, so like to
Him
walk
and
into
Just
a
Blaze,
studio
yeah.
and that's your two that's your two in-house
Yeah,
producers.
that's your choice right there. Go ahead,
Yeah.
pick one.
Definitely will keep the legacy going, you know. And then other artists like Cameron, The Game. I mean, I could go on. With Kanye, but he makes my top list definitely. You know, he chips in at number 4.
Good pick.
All right,
Good pick.
yeah, definitely, I like that pick. Harv, I'm gonna guess you're taking us into the next era after Marley Marl,
Yeah,
which would
which
bring
is-
us to
My pick would be Premier.
DJ Premier.
Yeah.
So this is early '90s.
This is
Excuse
early
me.
90s, like 89, 90, and then so on.
DJ Premier, Gangstar DJ Premier.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
The one and only DJ Premier.
Yeah. I love Gangstar DJ Premier.
Yes, DJ Premier to me, he, like I said, he's a direct descendant from Marley because he was sample heavy, even on the first Gangstar albums, Step in the Arena, then after that Daily Operation. He was super sample heavy on those 2 albums, and he started getting into his chopping bag more so on Hard to Earn. That's when he started to. He's still. I mean, he's always gonna sample no matter what. But that's when he started getting into chopping up samples. Also, on Daily Operation, I've only seen a few producers do this, where they take one beat and they go ahead into another beat. That was my inspiration for the double beat that I made. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard that. I've heard Premier do that countless times. Not countless, but I've heard him do it numerous times, and the outcome was amazing. And there was 2 examples where he flips 3 beats on 2 songs. 6 beats on 2 songs. I'm sorry, 6 beats on 2 songs. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to work with obviously Guru, and then Big, and from that era, from the 90s and all that.
Baby.
Yeah. So I mean, he brought the best. He brought the best out of all of them. Even
All right. So now,
go ahead.
I gotta come with the crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want this to be a whole fucking dick riding episode. And we get enough big love and I'm fucking I'm exhausted.
Yo,
so I want to be the one, and I'm gonna take all the heat on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and say I like DJ Premier. I love DJ Premier. I fuck with him, but to me he's overrated. He's formulaic. His sound is outdated.
No.
Some of his best
Hell
work was when he tried to go outside of the norm of hip hop and he delved into R&B and other genres. To me, this is my opinion.
Right.
What he does is you can tell it's a DJ Premier beat all the time, and that's not always a good thing because they all fucking sound the same after a while. So I'm not surprised to hear that you tell me that he had 3 beats in 2 songs because they probably all sounded the fucking same, and it might have been the same sample flipped or something. And that's not to knock him, and that's not to shit on him, and I'm not trying to be negative.
But I'm also.
But that's my opinion.
No,
you know
no,
what
no
I'm saying?
doubt.
And
you're
I think
entitled to
Havoc
it.
falls into that category where after a while he begins to sound the same or formulaic. And I don't think they've evolved as much as, I don't know, I can't say as much as I would have liked, because who the fuck am I and let them do whatever they want, right? But me as a consumer, me as a fan, like, I don't know. That's why I say I like Gangstar DJ Premier, because I liked him early, and his sound was new and fresh, and what he was doing was original, and I just think his sound never really changed.
Right. I get what you're trying to say.
But I still fuck with him, I still fuck with him.
Nah. Why would you think that a producer, the fact that you could tell it's a song by him, why would you think that that's not hot? You crazy? The fact that you can't tell a Premier track or a Havoc track, that's dope, son.
Maybe, but after a while, it's like, my nigga, okay, switch it up now. Maybe I don't want to know that it's your track off 7 seconds of sounds. Maybe Havoc, you know, you're gonna get and then the sample, and then the snare, and then the drum, and then the beat.
So
and
you're
the
telling
verse,
me
and
every single producer you have on your list, every single producer on your list you chose, you can't just off the bat tell it's a track by them.
Of course.
Looking at my list, no.
Yes. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you.
You can tell a Justice League beat.
Because it says Justice League.
Come on.
Besides that, no.
Because it says Justice League, and they tagged them.
Right.
Nah.
But okay, mine might have that.
Go ahead now.
Hold on. Mine might have that. Slightly, but
Right.
not to me in the sense of these other guys where they have it drastically, and I could tell often right away. Like maybe you can tell a Justice League beat here and there that they sound alike, but I don't think a casual fan is gonna immediately know a Justice League beat is a Justice League beat. I don't know. But again, also, that's my opinion.
You know what's funny? You saying that, Burns? I have DJ Premier on my list as well, and I'll get into why I like him. And it's funny that you would say you have that feeling about him. It's funny that I'm gonna explain it when I get to it, but I feel I respect your opinion on that. And how, you know, producers can sound the same and fall into that pitfall, but there's also a reason that makes him dope as well, you know.
That's what Black is trying to say.
Well, that's another thing. I'm not saying he's not dope. I'm not saying he's whack or trash. I'm just saying I don't think he evolved over time, and his beats still sound similar to what they sounded like before. And to me, that's a little corny, you know. Not corny. I don't know. It's just I wish it was. It wasn't like that.
You don't like any of his new work, then?
Name me his new work, and I'll tell you if I've heard it.
Prime.
Haven't heard it.
Okay, it's good. You should take a listen.
I based off how I already feel, that's what leads me not to listen to the album. But if you tell me it's a good album, I'll go listen to it because I like.
And Royce is on.
I like Royce. I definitely like
Royce.
Over a Premier beat, I'll fuck with it. I'll listen to it. And
it's
probably dope. And if it doesn't sound like a Premier beat, to me, that should make it even doper.
Like what the concept of Prime is that they he takes one person's whole catalog and he only samples that, which is Adrian Young. He samples Adrian Young's entire catalog.
Right. Okay. So this brings me to another argument or another aspect of production. Right.
Go ahead.
If you have a producer like a DJ Premier who's majority sample based and turntable based, and drum machine based. All right. Can he make a beat with no electricity?
I'm sure he can.
I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah.
After all these years working, with all these musicians,
with all the drum patterns and everything.
I know what you mean. On a drum, live
I know
drum,
what you mean.
and then go play a piano, and then go play a violin, and make a complete beat. I'm not saying he can't.
No. I get what you're trying to say. I think he could. I would think he could after all these years, because he doesn't seem like he's stupid.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's stupid either.
No.
I don't want the hip hop purists to come fucking hunt me down because I'm not trying to shit on DJ Premier at all.
I know what you're trying to get at, like a la Ryan Leslie, like what he did on that video. Where he played.
That to me is super dope.
Yeah.
And dope. I'm not even saying all the producers on my list can do that either.
I was just gonna say, but does that make somebody a dope producer because or less of a producer because they can't play an instrument?
Yeah.
To me, yeah.
So
I think if a producer can play live instruments, that's fucking better.
So
I
you
think
know
he's
what?
Better, yeah.
So you know what? I'm gonna counter you so bad when you pick your number one because I already know who that is. I'm gonna eat you alive. Pause, no homo. I'm gonna eat you alive.
First of all, you don't know who my number one is.
I have a great idea who your number one is, so I just can't wait. I can't wait. Ooh.
We'll see.
All right, so where we at? I was at
yeah.
My number 4 is Premier.
All right, and props to Premier and
Yes.
Premier, love to
Yes.
Premier.
And like
Premier
also
is a legend, and I'm not knocking that. And I know he's done some work as a working with an orchestra in like a college or something,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So definitely, I'm not trying to shit on him at all.
No. Yeah.
I'm just,
That's your opinion. It
Yeah,
is
and
your
also, it's the fucking hip hop debate, so I want to throw some debate in there.
Exactly. We can't.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. We can't.
Right.
Dick eat off.
Gotta have
Exactly.
some controversy.
Right, yeah. Even though we don't all agree, you know what I'm saying?
No, we're not always
Yeah.
all meant to agree,
yeah.
and that's
That's-
the beauty of the
that's
show.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Of
what
course,
the show
exactly.
is
Of
for.
course, yeah.
Yeah. So y'all can dig right all day, and I'll spit the truth.
Yeah, no
So moving on.
But yeah, carry on.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
So moving on. Anything else on DJ Premier, real quick?
Also, like I was saying, a good producer has to evoke emotion, and every time I hear Premier, like I feel different ways, like with different beats. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my favorite beats that he did was "Moment of Truth." I love that song, and what
Okay.
Guru says, and then the way he makes the beat. You know how he cuts the samples, how he cuts the snares out here. It's dope to me, and the emotions that I get is dope. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel something. That's how I know it's good production.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, but Moment of Truth, for those that know the song, very deep.
That's a dope ass
Very
fucking
deep,
song,
yo.
That's
Like
one of
Guru.
my favorite Guru.
That's the one that he
verses of all
talks
time.
about the airport gun incident. Is
No,
that
that's
song?
JFK to LAA.
Yeah.
To LAX.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
now, Moment of Truth, though,
Yeah,
he pours
I
his
love
heart out into
yeah,
that
I
shit.
love
yo.
that song. That's
Word.
one of my favorite
Word
Guru
up.
songs of all time. Like
Yep.
verses of all time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I love Mass Appeal. That's one of my favorite gangster songs. I think that's a really dope beat.
That
I
was
love
on-
Code of the Streets.
Hard to earn. All hard to earn.
I love Above the Clouds.
Oof.
That was on what the hell was the name of that album?
That was
Already
the
know.
Moment of Truth.
Moment
album.
of
Moment of Truth,
What's the song? It's not Manifest. Militia. I
Oh,
remember loving Militia.
That's a moment. Of
Can't
truth.
forget Dwick. Ooh.
Dwick, yeah,
That's
classic.
all hard to earn.
The Biggie song,
Kick in the Door.
Kick in the
Ooh.
Door. Yeah,
in the Door.
and Ten Crack Commandments.
10 Crack Commandments. Suicidal
Yeah.
Thought. No, wait.
No,
That was no.
one of my favorite Biggie songs, with the R. Kelly sample.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Warning.
that's
Say my bad.
That's,
That's what I meant to say.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. My
Yeah.
bad. My
That
bad.
shit is amazing.
that's
Yeah, my
one
bad.
of my probably top 2 or 3 Biggie
That
songs.
my
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. So Premier definitely got classics.
That's not an easy beat to flow to either.
Yeah.
And Biggie killed that.
Yeah. Black. You know the story behind that beat, yes?
Which one?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Biggie wanted a Premier song for his album.
Mm-hmm.
Premier was in crunch time for some reason. He didn't have much time to make it, so Biggie's like, "Yo, my nigga, I don't give a fuck what you do. Flip the impeach the president beats, the impeach the president drums if you have to, which is one of the most sampled songs in hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't care if you flip that shit, just
Cherry
give me
Drippers.
something. Yeah. So Premier came back with that beat. And I think the only thing Big asked him for was the R. Kelly sample. The Unbelievable.
For Unbelievable.
Yeah, and he managed to work that in.
That's fucking
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, which is dope, which I was listening to it the other day, and I think for mad long, I thought that was a girl sample. That's how he freaked it. Yeah, so that was dope. All right, I stated earlier, my number 4 is RZA. Again, based off the run he had with the Wu-Tang, he's produced some of our favorite songs. He's the grimiest producer on my list. He makes some of the most beautiful, dirty music. A song like Tears, beautiful song. Might bring you to literal tears if you hear it at the right point in time.
Most definitely.
All That I Got Is You, Rainy Days. These are the songs that, to me, you know, like I said, a producer, I want him to set the vibe. I want him to make me feel a way. I want him to
They evoke emotion.
yeah, evoke emotions within me. So these are some of the favorites for that reason. But then he got the grimy shit, like I said, the cream shit. Can It Be Also Simple?
Ice cream.
Winter Wars. Wu Gambinos, the hard shit, the real Wu-Tang Staten Island shit.
And he was so genius at what he was doing that he was able to take people. I don't know. I pointed it out to Black last weekend after we went to that the museum, and he was able to take basically the same drums or flip a sample and make totally different songs out of them.
All right. So to my argument, do y'all think y'all could tell a RZA beat right away?
Yes.
I'd say
pretty
early
much,
RZA,
probably.
yeah, because I mean his style evolved though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He
His
changed.
style evolved. I love what he did
On Bobby Digital was dope.
on
man.
Bobby Digital.
I
Very
didn't have a-
creative
yeah.
album,
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, he's still not super relevant, but he can pop up with a song at any time, and it still sounds dope.
Mm-hmm.
They put out like an EP to coincide with the documentary that they dropped.
Okay.
I think I've heard 2 or 3 tracks on it, and it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's
I know what
new
you're talking-
Wu-Tang
yeah,
music.
Yeah.
But it still gives you that Wu-Tang feel. But to me, you can't always tell a RZA beat, because I think his sound can go to so many different extremes, where he can do a sad type song, or he does the live wild out shit. He can do a song like Kame. Come on. Y'all know how I feel about Kame, so I don't even gotta get into that. But that's why, to me, he's number 4 on my list personally. The RZA. I love the documentary. If anybody is a fan of hip hop, a fan of stories, a fan of documentaries, I definitely recommend that Wu-Tang documentary. RZA's so genius beyond music. His message and his karma and his vibe is on a whole nother level, and his mentality, like, he's just seems like a really dope person. And to me, he's a dope ass producer and
Very intelligent,
fantasy.
intellectual cat.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. So that's my number 4.
Yes.
So I got Justice League at 5, RZA at 4. All right, Brother Black, your list is in no order, so
Right.
give us your next entrant.
All right. Now, to counter what you were saying about what makes a producer dope to where you could hear their music and know who it is, I'm going to throw the Neptunes out there. For the simple reason that I could listen to a Neptunes track and tell exactly that it's them, and their music sounds so different. And I dare you to tell me that their music all sounds the same, because I'm going to tell you you're full of
I
shit.
like that pick.
You know what I'm saying? And listen to me. Now listen. Hear me out.
A track like Allure, I wouldn't automatically think sounds like a Neptunes track. Personally,
Yeah, I don't know. I could tell.
I think there's songs that they have that maybe are not traditional Neptunes, but I think that their sound is so erratic, in the dopest way.
It's also evolved. It's evolved too.
Well, it's evolved in it, yeah. But it's also simplistic. Their fucking beats can be so sparse and so simple.
Yeah. Look at Grinding.
But,
I love the Neptunes. That's a awesome pick.
You know, their music makes you want to get on the floor and shake your ass, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, no, Neptune, excuse me, definitely are a dope ass production squad.
Without a
And they
doubt.
had a really good run.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of time where
Without
they
a
were putting
doubt.
out classic songs.
They've laced any and every MC you could think of. Everybody's wanted to rock on a Neptunes track, and you know what? Just listening to them, just brings back ill memories. Just want to throw this out there real quick, yo. You know, peep the scene. I'm living in Miami at the time. This is late '90s, towards from '97 to 2000. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Nelly. I was never the biggest Nelly fan, right? But yo, have any of y'all ever gone?
I've heard.
What?
I've heard otherwise, but go ahead.
Okay,
Carry on.
but anyway, yo, have any of y'all ever experienced get your ego on at the club being surrounded by beautiful women,
This guy.
just
Roberto.
getting their ego
Can't
on in
help it.
front of you
Okay,
and just
Black.
dropping to the floor and thong and all that crazy beautiful women showing you all kinds of stuff, eagle on and all that. Yo, that evokes such dope memories to me, kid, from my young
I would
wild
love that
days,
song
bro.
too, my nigga.
That's my word, yo, Nando. I know you feel me, son. Fernando gets it. I know you
nah,
get this,
Chip,
B.
It's hot in her by Nelly and the Neptune.
Yo, even that,
as
even
well. Both of them.
Yo.
Of them. But yo, and them bitches is like take off all your
that.
clothes.
Yes,
Okay.
Those
yes,
songs
yes,
play
yes.
at every
But you know,
wedding.
not only that, but yo, the dopest MCs who were hot at the time have all gone to work with the Neptunes. They've all wanted to freak with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man.
One of my favorite Neptunes beats, Mook. Tell me if you remember P.D. Pablo Freak a Leak.
Hell yeah.
But that wasn't the Neptunes, though.
That wasn't the Neptunes?
No, that was Lil Jon.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that
Lil
was Lil
Jon.
Jon?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Yo, Fernando, you still remember that song, though?
I still remember that song.
Nah,
You know what, Burns?
Yo.
Didn't they do Mystical's Watch Yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, shake your ass.
Yeah.
I remember that
Oh.
song. Like a
I remember
motherfucker.
that song. One of the first times
Yeah.
hearing that song
Uh-huh.
at Bronx Jimmy's
And
Bronx
Danger,
Cafe.
there you go.
Yeah.
Danger too.
At fucking-
Yep.
You,
We was
you
all-
remember,
we was all
Burns,
over
you
there.
remember that at Baja?
Hell
You remember
yeah!
that,
What?
Mystical?
Oh yeah, that was
Um,
on that summer.
yeah,
summer
that-
of 2000.
Shake
There was
that
a lot
ass.
of Neptunes in Baja.
How could you forget Mace 2
Word
looking
up.
at me? This is their early work. Looking at me while you
That was
over
one
there
of my
looking
favorite
at me.
Mace tracks.
Crazy,
You know,
son.
didn't they or Pharrell have a hand in Rum Shaker?
Possibly.
Probably.
Yes, you know why?
'cause they
Because
worked
he's
with
actually
them.
he's a student of
Teddy.
Teddy Riley,
Teddy
yeah.
Teddy Riley.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
'cause they're both from
they've
VA.
been doing the damn thing.
Yes, yes.
Their early work, you know, Clips had a really dope song. The Funeral, I think it was called. I believe it was called The Funeral. It was off their what would have been their first album that never came out. And that was early Pharrell work, and that was dope. He had his Jay-Z shit.
Oh hell yeah! Give it to me.
Give It To Me, that's a fucking
Right.
classic song.
Another song
Um,
at Baja's all the time.
Yeah, he had Allure, which I mentioned earlier, which to me is a really dope Jay-Z song. He had his work with, they had their work with Nori,
Right. Oh yeah, big
which
time.
put him on the
Nori,
map.
yeah.
Right. True.
One of my favorite.
Thug.
one of my
Super
favorite-
Thug. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they did their work with Khalees, which I love.
Right.
They put out Khalees as one of their artists. I love her.
On Star Tracks. Right.
Yeah, I love that first album. They Pharrell, excuse me, not Pharrell, Pusha T, all the work they've done with Pusha T.
One of my favorite
Pusha
tracks
T.
was with that fucking song with Birdman.
Oh, what happened to that boy?
Yeah.
That beat
Yo,
was
yeah,
hard, yo.
yeah.
The fact, yo,
That
and I
beat
and
is
I hate
hard.
I hate
Yeah.
Cash Money. I've always hated
Yeah, yeah,
Birdman,
yeah, I
but the
can't stand
fact that they
Birdman.
could make him sound dope, that says
Nah,
a
he
lot right
sounded
there,
terrible.
bro.
Yeah,
Nah, he
yeah,
sounded dope to
yeah.
me. I was saying, "Brrr," you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
all on it, man.
That was a really
I
dope
thought that was
track.
dope.
That's
I thought it was dope.
That would be that pick right there would be the pick that I'll say I forgot. That
Okay.
they're not on my list,
your list.
nor are they on
Right,
my
right.
honorable mentions.
That's
True.
good though.
Okay.
That's a good pick though. That's
Yeah, that's a
definitely
really good pick.
The pick,
doubt.
that's the pick that forgot right there.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's that black. It's that
and
Black facts, baby.
And they
Oh.
had, like I said, a really good run. And now Pharrell as a solo artist, and mind you, Neptunes also did Nerd, so they released a couple albums.
Right.
under
Another
the
dope
Nerd,
track. Everybody
banner.
knows. With Pusha on it, Lupe.
Yeah, another dope song.
That
yeah,
song is
so
dope.
they
With
got
Pharrell.
they got,
Pharrell kills that verse.
Yeah, they got a lot of dope songs.
Yeah.
Yo,
that's
they
a
got
really
the
good pick.
wackest
Yeah, wow.
song. Burns, they got the wackest song that ever blew up. That, in my opinion, and I listen to it now, I'm just like, alright, fuck it, I get it, but it's so simple. The shit with them and Snoop Dogg.
Drop
What?
It Like It's Hot.
Or Beautiful.
Yeah, Drop It
Nah.
Like It's Hot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Beautiful was dope.
too.
Yeah, Beautiful
But
was dope. Hell yeah.
Drop It Like
Beautiful
It's
was dope.
Hot was a little bit like, what is
I
this?
hated that
and
song when it
it
came
blew
out.
up for no reason.
Yeah, I ain't really.
I ain't gonna
like
lie, I
that
hated
song.
that
Right?
song when it came
Which
out.
one?
Drop it like
Drop
it's
it like
hot.
it's hot. Okay.
Drop It Like It's Hot.
I love the Blue Magic though.
Yes.
New Magic was dope.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so definitely
That
that's a good pick.
Them and
Black.
Jay-Z,
That's
it's
a
classic.
good pick. That
Yo, what y'all think of Beautiful? Pretty dope, right?
Beautiful was dope. I
Dope,
think I
man.
preferred.
Yeah.
True. Shout to Denny for that. All right, but anyway,
I
go
think
ahead.
I preferred. I think didn't they do a song with LL?
Oh,
In that
yeah,
vein?
yeah. They did. What was the name of that song?
Was it Love You Better?
Yes.
That
Yes,
one, right?
yes.
Comparing those two,
Which
I would
was
go-
dope, right?
Yeah, I'd go with the LL, but yeah, definitely Neptune's again,
no,
and,
I'd still go with
and they were able to do different genres.
But once again, just to
successfully.
counter what you were saying before, Money Burns, the fact that you could tell is a Neptunes beat, you think that's corny?
Well, I don't think, to me, Neptunes falls under that track because they're not formulaic, and I don't think you can hear a song off a Khalees album and automatically think that's a Neptunes beat. Also, maybe off a Nerd album where it's more rock and roll, or even that song Everybody Knows where it's almost more like a house song.
What song is that?
Everybody knows.
I don't think
Oh.
right within 10 seconds you can tell it's a Neptunes beat.
What, everybody knows what?
No,
That's the name of the
that's
song.
the name of the
Everybody
song.
knows.
No, but I don't know. Everybody knows what?
Yeah, if you don't know, you don't know.
That's
But
Okay,
if you know,
yeah.
you know.
If you know,
All right. So everybody doesn't know.
If you
Okay.
don't know now, you know.
Carry on. Everybody doesn't know, apparently. All right.
like Pusha said, if you know, you know.
All right, good pick though, definitely.
Yeah, good shit, Black.
Really, that's a really good pick. So Mook, what's next on your list? You said yours were in order or not in order? I'm sorry, I forgot.
They're in order. It was funny because Black brought up
Oh, like
a group of producers that make up a team, you know, and number 3 was tough for me. I couldn't decide, and it wound up being a couple of groups that fit in this category, including the Neptunes, the Beatnuts, and the one that actually stole number 3 for me was Trackmasters. And I'll explain why.
Good pick. That's a
you
good
know,
pick.
I'll explain why. Yeah. Doing the research, going back and listening. I mean, not only listening, but doing research and looking up facts on these producers. I first came up with the Beatnuts and then the Neptune because I remember they had so many hits. But Trackmasters, when I went back, man, they got so many songs that are part of my childhood and give me feelings when I listen to these songs that it's not even funny. And they might have songs that y'all didn't even know that they produced. And if y'all did, you know, y'all some hip hop purists for real. First of all, for Burns, who's a Diddy lover, they went into Uptown Records, and the story is, or this was what I looked up on them. Diddy bought out their catalog, so who knows what songs he dropped and like remixes that he dropped on Uptown Records that were actually produced by the Trackmasters.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They gotta have some classic stuff. Like I'm talking going back to Mary J, Biggie, everybody. Yeah, man. If you look it up, that's the story that Diddy bought out their whole catalog.
That makes
You know?
sense. Yeah.
When you
That's
say
a
And,
strong pick. I
But
ain't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
even excluding whatever Diddy did or didn't do that we do or don't know, the shit that is Trackmasters that we do know is Trackmasters. They have
Very
a lot
dope.
of dope shit. They put
Yeah.
a lot
Oh,
of
I got a list. Believe me, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that.
I always think of It Was Written.
Yeah, they got a lot of dope.
Hell yeah.
A lot of dope. knowledge.
That was their album. That along with The Firm and Il Nana, they were all in
I was
the
gonna
same
say the
category.
Foxy album was dope. They did work
You know?
on the Firm album, which was also
Yes.
dope.
Yeah.
Did they work with Jay-Z? Yeah, they did because they did the Jay-Z. and
Yeah,
Maya
they worked
song.
with Jay-Z.
They did all that. They did whatchamacallit, Best of Both Worlds.
Okay, yeah.
They
know
did the
Yeah,
best
they,
of
they
me.
worked on it. Yeah,
They did the
worked
best of
on
me
it.
remix
Yeah,
with Maya and Jay-Z. Shout out to Jenny.
Yeah.
Yo, all that good shit, bro. All that dope shit. Yo, oof.
Yo,
Oof.
did y'all know that they might have done one of the hottest hip hop songs of all time.
What's that?
You know, do y'all know that Trackmasters produced Juicy?
Which one of them? Tone
Nah,
or Poke?
isn't that
Red Hot Lover Tone or Poke?
They both
No.
Tone and Poke.
I
He's a
know
track
that's
master.
they're the track man, but they also did individual work. I know because I had Red Hot Lover Tone's album.
I mean, I guess in this case it doesn't really matter because if one of them produced Juicy, it was one of them that's part of the crew. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the best songs of all time, man.
Now, you know what? I could see that happening only because if we're going off of the Biggie, you know, the Notorious documentary, if you remember, his Puff who brings the sample in the record while Big is in the studio, and he just plays it for Biggie while, you know, he's listening to it, talking about, yo, this, that, and the third, BS. But it could very well be
Yeah.
that then. Maybe they picked up on it and freaked it, huh?
Not maybe it was him that went to them because obviously, did you not just hear me? He worked with them.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. My bad.
Yeah.
He probably like told them to make the beat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Gave them the sample and they made the beat. But at the end of the day, they were the ones that did it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
other
that's
songs
took the
that are
credit.
definitely a
flavor,
possibility.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, of course. Other songs that are flavor that they've done. I didn't know this. They did "Hey Lover."
Yeah, I knew.
They
Right.
did "Loungin'." They did
Uh-huh.
"Loungin'," which are two of the hottest LL tracks.
True.
They did "If I Ruled the World."
Yeah, I knew that.
Mhm.
Everybody
Right.
knows that.
And even on 50's album, his debut, they did Ghetto Quran and they did How to Rob.
Right.
So these
Yeah,
niggas,
I
I
knew
mean,
they did Rob.
they got a long catalog, man.
Right.
They got a long
That they
track
do.
list.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
Their
yeah.
flavor.
To me, some of their
Flavor.
hottest work, like I said before, was on It Was Written. I
Right.
always think of Shootouts. Whatchamacallit?
Street
Message.
Dreams.
Street Dreams. The
Affirmative
Message.
action.
Yeah,
Affirmative,
affirmative action.
yeah, all that.
Can't forget that.
Yeah. They
Like
just.
masters are crazy, man. In the 90s, if you wanted a song that was going to be a hit and it was going to be dope and grimy, you went to them.
Then they did all that. Like, he did, man.
Yeah.
They did mad work with Jay-Z. They worked with everybody, too. They was out there. They
Fun
was-
fact, I think J Kidd used to drive for one of them. He worked with one of them in Jersey. One of them live on the Jersey side, and I think he used to drive for one of them.
Nice.
True.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Trackmasters. I didn't have them on either list, so
Yeah,
that's also a
I
good
wasn't
pick
even
for
thinking
sure.
about them, but that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
Bloodshot.
yeah, I like that.
Thank you,
Yeah.
fellas. Thank you,
Word.
thank you.
Yeah.
All
good
right,
pick, good
Harv, take us to the next era.
My next pick, my number 3 pick, is going to be The RZA.
The RZA.
Zigzag,
yes.
Zig-a-lot.
So now he covers from 90.
You got to figure
3?
from like 93 all the way up until like 97 when he drops
Right.
Wu-Tang Forever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, to me, that was his peak.
That was his run,
of
yeah.
production.
And
That album in particular, I
Yeah.
think he really hit his stride, and it's a shame that after that was when.
it was
the
it was
decline
a
kinda
bit of a
started.
decline. It wasn't
Nah,
a total decline,
but you know
but
what?
it declined a
I
little.
don't mean a decline in talent.
No, yeah, just in desire. And
You know what it is, too, fellas? If you think about it,
decline in his run as a top.
Okay.
Yeah,
But at the time, the brother's so so popular that he's being pulled into movies and all kinds of shit. You gotta just respect that, and it is what it is.
Oh
bro.
yeah.
You know?
No, I'm not knocking
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
No,
nah,
I'm not, nor am I saying it's his fault.
Right.
like we
It's
said.
just a shame to me. I wish I wish it was able to last longer.
Right.
But what he did do, I mean, is everlasting. You know what I'm saying? The work
No,
he put in,
absolutely, he's a genius.
the work he put in is timeless.
I love that they laid out their plan on 36 Chambers, and we watched it come to fruition in real life. You know,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
amazing.
The Wu documentary is very informative, man. They get real deep into it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Again, definitely props
it's
to that.
definitely
you know.
beautiful, man, to watch what they did and the RZA and like his vision and all that. He's the Abbott. He earned his fucking name and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's my number 3. You know.
All right, so we've spoken about the RZA, so we'll move on to my number 3, which we spoke about earlier, which is Kanye. Specifically, the work he did with Jay-Z, right around the Dynasty album, the Blueprint, and then he started doing his own album while still working on a lot of Rockefeller shit, working with outside artists, working with R&B artists, till when he formed his label, the shit he did for Common. Those two Common albums on his on Good Music, I think, are fucking classic. All those beats are so dope.
Finding Forever, where he mimicked the Premier beat. What the fuck is the name of that song? Fuck. Damn,
Anyway,
but it's
to
a
what
dope
he's doing
beat.
now, to what he's doing now, again on his own, what he did with Cudi, that run he had last year with Pusha and Tiana, and his own album.
Nas.
What he did with Nas, his sound, to me, you can't tell me you know a Kanye beat when you hear it, because you never know what the fuck Kanye's gonna do. From when he took his sound more pop on Graduation,
Even then,
to when he took it to like a metallic industrial sound on Yeezus, to when he took it to Church on Saint Pablo, or Life of Pablo.
He went crazy on Watch the Throne. He went
The
crazy
shit he
on
did
that
on
shit.
Watch the Throne, like he's genius to me.
yes. In my
Somebody
opinion.
earlier mentioned Jesus Walks, probably one of my favorite songs ever.
That song, I can't listen to it more than once. I have to listen to it at least 2 or 3 times. That's a powerful
Spaceships. I love that he did Spaceships.
That's actually my favorite beat on that album. My favorite song is Jesus Walks, but my favorite beat is Spaceships on the College Dropout.
Diamonds from Sierra
Wait,
Leone.
When he was on Diamonds
Can't
Are
Tell Me
Forever,
Nothing.
Diamonds from Sierra Leone.
Yeah,
Forget about it, man.
yeah.
He got real
yeah.
cinematic on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So he makes really big songs, really stadium music, like I like to refer to it. You know what I'm saying? And then he proceeds to also be able to make a grimy ass fucking hood song, which is dope to me. So Kanye's my number 3. So we don't really got to dwell on him, but definitely just a dope producer, dope feeling. He can give you the club song. He can give you the heart emotional song. He can take you and give you an R&B song. He can give you the Yeezus rock and roll type song. And they're all gonna be dope in their own way. So that's my number 3. So
You know what? If I could just add to that two quick seconds. I'm a stuck in the 90s cat, so I just discovered Graduation like 15 years later, and I absolutely love it.
Tripping.
Can't even front. I absolutely
Good album,
love it.
right, Black?
yeah, that's
absolutely loved it.
What's one of your favorite tracks off of that?
I love them all.
that was the album. No, it was his second album. The first album was The College Dropout. And the second album was Late Registration. That was a longer album. And that was the album that he got Brian something to like kind of co-produce with him and to make the songs a little bigger.
John Bryan,
yeah, to make the songs bigger, to make them to bring in the
melodies and shit.
the melodies and the sounds and the violins and the organs and those are some longer songs.
And it came out.
You could definitely hear it.
Yeah.
Those are the longer songs. That's a really that's a good good cohesive album.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3. Kanye West.
Yeah.
So going with my number 2 in no particular order, once again, just happens to fall this way on the list, is your man Timberland from Virginia.
Nice.
You know, since the brothers come out, he's been lacing freaking hit after hit after hit, and all the big dogs and heavy hitters have wanted to rock with the man. You know, and not only just in hip hop, but in R&B also, as well as pop, which is why I just think the brother's great.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is Timberland. Originally, when we first came up with this concept, I thought Timberland was definitely gonna be like in my top 3.
Okay.
And he didn't make my list at all. He's in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
But Timberland is dope because he definitely got a lot of classic songs, both in hip hop, but then also when he went to R&B. What he did with Aaliyah is crazy.
Yes.
Her second album, right before she passed,
One in a
is
Million.
a fucking no. The one right before she passed was self-titled.
Oh, yes.
That's the
Aaliyah.
one that had Rock the Boat
Right.
and More Than a Woman.
Want More Than a Woman, right?
That's a really fucking dope album.
Dope album,
There's an
true.
album by Brandy after Aaliyah died. I think it's called Enigma. It's produced entirely by Timbaland, and that album contains what would have been Aaliyah's next album.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the beats, the
Wow.
melodies, you can kind of hear that it sounds Aaliyah-ish. But it's beat for that reason. Obviously, is like the best Brandy album. But I definitely recommend people go hear that because that would have been what Aaliyah's next album would have sounded like.
Right.
Then what he did,
He might be nicer as a pop producer, as an R&B producer, than even a hip hop producer.
yeah, what he did with Justin Timberlake, what he did with Nelly Furtado, what he did on his own albums. He had an album called Shock Value that was
Right.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
His albums with Timbaland and Magoo.
He worked with Dre on that album.
Magoo being a mediocre rapper,
Yeah.
he got him to sound passable. Everything he's done with Jigga, what he did with Missy,
Yeah.
next level shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Elevated the game.
Yeah. So that's a really good pick. And again, I'm surprised he wasn't heavy on my list when it finally came down to it. But he definitely got classic songs. Again, what he did with Aaliyah, the One in a Million with the Crickets.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention what he did with Genuine, first and second album. The first album, I think it was called. It wasn't The Bachelor.
The Bachelor?
Was it The Bachelor?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was The
the other
Bachelor,
one was 100%
and then 100%
Genuine.
Genuine, which I think is the better album.
Yeah,
I
that
think he
is the better
really
album.
got crazy on that album.
100%, by the way, the best Genuine album to date.
Yeah,
In my
I
opinion.
think he
Yep.
really fucking was doing
He
his
went
thing
crazy.
on that album.
Yes.
But Timbo,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, that's a fucking awesome pick,
A
dude.
great album, yeah.
Yeah, Timbaland, and then again, what he went and did, he did with Jay-Z. Right when Jay-Z was having his dominant run, when he was at the top of everything,
Right.
he had Timbaland right there, and they was putting out a lot of classic material. One of my favorites is "Come and Get Me."
Yes.
Okay.
That song, a beat switch occurs.
Yeah, exactly.
But right before the beat switch
That's volume
occurs,
3, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right before the beat switch occurs, there's like a fucking
like that
an
crazy
ambiance of a
Right.
jungle
Yeah.
setting.
Nuts, yeah.
And then the heartbeat
Come
comes
get
in.
me.
Yeah.
That's just nuts.
I think I hear waterfalls and like
Yeah.
rainforests and shit. Yo, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, word is born, but yo, that's an ill ass beat. So
sure.
definitely Timbo's a dope artist.
Yeah,
Excuse
so
me, a
that's-
Big
dope producer.
Pimpin'. Big
Yeah.
Pimpin' by
Yeah.
Timbaland, my
That's
brother.
a classic hip hop record.
Yeah,
That's all I
Big
gotta
Pimpin'.
say.
What was the other one? Jigga what, Jigga who?
Yeah.
That that
He
was
did
another
mad
really
shit.
dope
He
song.
did mad
Yeah.
shit with Jigga.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Black.
That's my number 2 as well.
Oh, okay.
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 So like to expand,
Oh.
to expand on Timbaland, you know, he changed the game. Like after him, people started sounding like him. That's why he's my number 2. Like,
yeah.
like hip hop sounded one way, and then when he came along, it started to sound a different way. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And that was completely because of him.
And
you know.
and his sound, yo, it's crazy because you can't put a word to it.
It's just dope. man. It's just
If I
dope.
could think of like one word, I think of like alien or outer space.
Yeah.
Like, yo, his shit sound like
Yeah.
it came from another planet.
And the shit that he
sometimes.
does, like, there's a song. It's actually on Shock Value, and it's the beat that he produces with Dre. I forgot the name of it, but he takes like a chick basically gasping for air, like before she's about to laugh, and then he records her laughing. He takes that and makes that the sample for the song, and the
Yeah,
song
yeah.
is the beat is sick.
Well, remember on
they
Genuine,
had-
he samples fucking Godzilla and shit.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Makes that
He
dope.
samples,
Yeah,
he
that
samples
shit- that
Godzilla.
shit
He
is dope.
samples The Flash. He samples all
Yo,
that
Flash
shit.
Gordon.
Yes, Flash
he
Gordon.
sampled
Yep.
Flash Gordon.
He's
All that
super
crazy
funky
dope.
too.
Yep.
He's super funky with
Yep.
it. Like you
Yeah.
gotta
He
dance
fucking-
to his shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
does crazy.
Dope,
He does
man.
crazy shit. He does a lot of, like you said, Godzilla. How do you
Yeah.
flip Godzilla?
Yeah.
It makes it sound
he
nice.
You
flips-
gotta
yeah, he
two-step to
flips
his
crazy
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But picture Misty, just Misty's
What was
music, obviously being Timberland, just Misty's music that you feel like you got a two-step to everything. Like, you know, I really think Biggie would have
Yeah.
actually done some dope ass songs with Timbo.
Yo, for
man.
that, yo, Nando, it's so funny you say that. I swear to God, I was gonna say Big for sure would have rocked with him 100%.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah, I
Yep.
could definitely hear that.
Yep.
He had that bounce that
Mhm.
Big could have got right into the pocket on.
Yep.
All right, yeah, Black, that's a good pick.
Yeah, that's-
and that's VS's number 2 also.
Man.
So Mook, who's next on your list?
My number 2 on my list, it could have gone either way. It could have been number 1 or number 2 any given day. I gave it to my number 1, and I'll explain why. But number 2 is going to be the RZA, and just how, you know, all the songs, everything we went over by him. I'll name a couple of other things that he did that I sweat a lot, but he pretty much changed the sound at the time. Hip hop changed after Wu-Tang. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether for better or worse, whether for better or worse, or whether for, you know, hardcore, or, you know, going back to like conscious rap, they were a big catalyst in changing how the music sounded, how the game was.
Yeah.
You know, you could see a lot of other crews at the time, like Bad Boy and Mobb Deep and everything, kind of like they all morph into each other, and they have their differences, but also their similarities. But Wu-Tang, man, I don't know, man. Nobody ever heard nothing like that, man. Nobody ever heard of Staten Island before they came out. You didn't even remember that that's one of the 5 boroughs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shaolin, like, nobody even knew what Shaolin was when they were talking about it. People thought it might have been Queens or other places, and if you were really into it and you really did the digging, you find out where they from and what they about. And yo, there was I went and bought the 36 Chambers tape. The tape, my brother, the album on tape, and my brother bought it as well. We had 2 copies in the house, and I think I might have popped both of them, just going from beginning from
Bring the ruckus.
I forgot the Bring the Ruckus to Tears.
Yeah.
Was like, yo, like Burn said, it brought me to tears. Like when I heard that song, and every song in between was just flavor.
Yeah, RZA was making like movies back then, you know.
Yeah,
and
man.
Every artist was like their own different kind of superhero and shit, and
Right.
he was,
Exactly.
you know, he would create the world and the fucking
The backdrop. to it.
yeah,
The sound around it.
It just gives you a feeling.
That
It gives you a
run,
feeling.
yeah, that run he had, and the way he would make an album into an album and shit.
Yeah.
That's a large part of production to me as well, you know, when you get into album mode. So now you got to take these songs and you got to sequence them, and you got to put them in an order that makes sense and that you're kind of vibing to, and you know, they got to go from one to the next and not fucking clash and sound terrible. That's not always an easy thing, you know, and sometimes an album can have dope songs but have bad sequencing, and that can make it not sound right or make it not sound as good as it could have.
But that goes into the whole argument of being
around
either
that
a
time-
beat maker or a producer.
You had to come hard around that time with album wise, because people bought your your album for the album as well, not
Yeah,
only for
exactly.
the single that was out. And their album contends with everybody's, and it changed the game. Their skits were hot, And when that song Cream came out, nobody knew what to do after that. No, like that changed the game for good. Like I remember the hot songs were Protect Your Neck and Method Man, and Method Man was like had everything on lockdown.
Brooklyn Zoo.
And then and I'm coming one time. I'm coming home. I don't know if I was with Black or Bird coming down my block, and Joe Swanee, my next door neighbor, Somalia's mother, that nigga's outside on the balcony like, yo, y'all gotta hear this new song by The Wu called Cream. It's better than Method Man. And we're like, nah, it's not better than Method Man. He's like, yo, it's better than Method Man. And we went running to hear this shit.
Yo, did he? Was he topless with no shirt on the balcony, like kind of like flexed out?
We was all thugged out. So he might have been like out, like gangster.
I think I remember that. Yeah, I think
I've been on tough. But
that's a good brother though, man. That's a good brother. Shout out to him. He be showing a lot
of course,
support.
That's my dude. But that's what I'm saying. Like we were all thought we was hard when we would hear shit like that. And when he was like, "Yo, y'all gotta hear Cream," and we're like, "Nah, that shit can't be better than Method Man." He's like, "My niggas, y'all gotta listen to this shit." That shit changed the game, man. And then, what's that other track that they did the remix on Cuban Links? I'm drawing a blank.
Can it be also simple?
Also Simple, man. The original? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the
Also Simple, man.
The RZA definitely changed the game, man. He definitely elevated. He did not only did he change, but he elevated. Being a producer, man.
And again, the crazy shit is that when you listen to his beats, like his drums are really fucking simple. It's never intricate like a Timbaland might have, or like a Swizz might have.
Exactly.
It's more simple, like 4-bar loops. But the way he puts the shit together, no one can mimic fully because no one can fully understand and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Which makes him a dope producer. And then, like I said, he would make he would turn the albums into mini movies, and his artist was always like the star or the hero and shit.
Yeah.
And that shit would put you in an ill zone as if you was there with him. Cuban Links, perfect example, where you feel like you're fucking in the mix with Raekwon and shit.
You're about to go and shit. Go on a fucking
that's the feeling it gives you. Yeah.
Yo, and let us not forget. Let us not forget that due to the RZA's influence, you had Mariah Carey reach out to Old Dirty. You had SWV reach out to the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Both
Jodeci
singers, yes.
Yeah,
fucking Jodeci.
Yeah. Jodeci. You remix.
Yes. Reach out to them on the strength of the RZA and bring out bangers, man. Can't forget that.
That Method Mary joint.
Yes. The
RZA version.
Yes.
Yeah. Which to me is
All I Need.
The superior version.
The Riddler. About All I Need.
You remember that? Yeah.
I remember the Riddler, but I'm talking about the All I Need. Method Mary.
You're talking about the album version?
No, not the album version.
Not the album Riddler version. Because the
remix, the remix RZA version.
Right.
Because Mary J's not on the album.
Right.
No, she's not. No.
Yeah.
But that's the one, the Riddler version. That's the one that is considered.
It's called the Riddler version?
The Riddler version.
Yeah, all right.
You're not talking about the commercial one that came out.
Not the Diddy one.
Right, not the Diddy one, right?
No.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's the one they use in the video.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, that's the better of the two versions.
No.
Although, the Diddy one obviously is the one that won him the Grammy.
That won him the Grammy,
of course. Superstardom. But what the RZA did, in keeping it fucking RZA, but it was still like cute and pop.
Yeah. That's a dope song.
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to that song for a minute, but now I can again, so I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, you back, baby. We all back this episode.
I'm back, baby.
And which brings me to my last point. How Burns says that everything that he does sounds like a movie. Just the fact that he went into doing movies, like,
scoring.
Laying the soundtrack for Kill Bill.
Yeah.
And his own movies,
Iron
the
Fist.
Iron Fist or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that was two of
But
those.
Kill Bill, man, that's a double feature. It's two movies,
Yeah, he scored
and
that
he
movie.
he scored them both. You know, and it's an ill movie. It's
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
You can say it kind of might be even a Wu project just from him being on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. It's got
Fire,
all the
man.
elements of a Wu project in motion picture form. Yeah, definitely.
Not to mention he has an album that nobody's ever heard. Who does that? Who drops the album and sells it to one person?
Yo,
Yeah,
That
finish the
album's
documentary,
bullshit.
and we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
Word.
finish that shit, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, your number 2 was also Timberland,
Yes.
VS. All right. So, anything else y'all want to add to VS's
Timberland. Just like I said, one of my favorite Timberland beats. It's gonna sound gay, but what's it called? Cry Me a
Hey,
River.
yo.
Cry Me a River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The build up to that beat is amazing, and then the fucking the signature to it, the time, all that. It's
Yeah,
amazing. It's a
yeah.
dope beat. It's a really dope.
Oh,
I
yeah.
suggest
It's
anybody.
real pop. It's
I'm-
real pop.
But it's a dope beat.
I
It's a
fuck
dope
with
beat.
the 2020 Experience album by Justin Timberlake, which is all by Timberland.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, to me, a 5 mic R&B album.
and you know what? On the strength to counter to that, Future Sex Love Sounds to me is by
That's
far
his
the
5
best
mic album.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake
He got
Timberland album.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
The best. Y'all
Yeah.
want to make babies? That's the one you listen to. Go on, carry on.
Yo. You know Timberland is bringing sexy back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt. And to credit that, don't you know that? I mean, for those that don't know, Black Fact, during the Grammys, when Justin Timberlake went to, accept his award, this was the time that before he accepted the award, Prince went up on stage talking about "Sexy Never Left" because I'm still around. And then when Timberlake went to accept his award, that was a little riff
A
they were
jab,
having.
yeah, jab.
So he dropped a track to counter that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sexy back.
But whatever.
Black
Sexy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He had a track. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. It was
Yeah.
like a diss track, and it was Timberland, Nelly Furtado. and
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's on.
Yeah.
I think that's on Shock Value.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. That
Yeah.
was a good. That was actually a good song. I really
Yeah, it
like that.
was. Yep.
All right, so my number 2.
Give it to me. That's the name.
Give it to me. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I could see him working with Prince, matter of fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that was my
After
number
the hate
2.
and shit.
Boom.
But
So-
yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah,
Prince
Timberland.
was still here, you know? Rest in peace.
Right.
Word, rest in peace, Prince, because he was an ill producer.
Oh,
He
no
was.
doubt about
He
it.
was definitely a producer.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2 goes to Puff Daddy.
Nice.
I think Puff Daddy is the epitome of setting the vibe, the positivity, the fucking dance music, the club music, the street music. And I'm fully aware that he probably didn't make any of the beats, but he had a team of dope ass producers, and he would take what they had as beat makers, and he would just take a record and elevate it and complete it and make it something bigger and something fucking crazier. And then when he would take those records and combine them into an album form, that shit would become another form of a mini movie. But now these were Bad Boy mini movies, so they were a little fucking shinier and shit, and they were sunnier, and it wasn't like a Wu-Tang dark album,
Yeah, a little colorful. More
yeah,
colorful.
it was a little more upscale and shit.
Well, Burns, that's executive producing. That's exactly what he
Exactly.
was doing.
Exactly. So everything he
producing
did,
his own
his whole Bad Boy run, which included Biggie, which included 112, Total, Mace, Black Rob, The Locks, Diddy's album No Way Out, and then he kept going through the years, So Bad Boy evolved to where Mario Winans would come out, and then Loon, and then it would fall off a little, and then he'd come back with some Dirty Money or some shit, which is an ill ass album, and then he'd come back with a Diddy album, He executive produced Jay-Z's American Gangster. He executive produced Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap more recently. So Puff is like 20 years in the game. More, 93, whatever.
30.
More than that.
Yeah, 30 years in the game, you know, and he lives that can't stop, won't stop mantra, and Bad Boy for Life and Bad Boy Forever, and Bad Boy is still relevant, you know. Puff could drop a fire ass song tomorrow and that shit'll be a hit, or he can produce or find the next dope artist like a Janelle Monáe or a French Montana, which I'm no fan of, but that's a popular fucking artist nowadays. And he's always in something. He's always in some kind of mix, you know. But if there's any artist or producer out there that gives you emotion that we can say has provided the majority of the soundtrack to our lives, to me that is Puff Daddy. And fuck, yo, I fucking fuck with Puff Daddy so heavy. Like, that's such a dope producer to me. And he was the Robin to Big's Batman, you know,
Or vice versa.
And we got to witness him live out through the tragedy of losing Big firsthand, and watched him bounce back, you know, and actually elevate to a higher level after that, and take it even further beyond. And still live the legacy of Big, you know, and still celebrate that and never forgot that. Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything negative that can be said about Puff Daddy. Music wise, because I know people say he ripped his artists off, whatever, and I don't want to get into that. But as a straight producer, to me, Puff Daddy is obviously my number two, but he's so important to hip hop. He's so important to the culture. And then that run he had beyond Bad Boy, where he was just dominating Billboard for like a whole year, where I think he had produced or written on 60 to 80% of the songs that topped the charts. Yeah. So it's like, damn, how do you fucking top that, you know?
Oh, I got something. I'm about to rock.
Yeah, then like I said, everything he did beyond music, Sean John, Ciroc, Revolt, every artist that he's put out,
the acting, he was in
the
movies
first,
and shit.
one of the first artists or companies to do his own distributing.
The movies,
his
he
company.
did a couple.
You know,
movies.
quick fact too, like Black. This I don't know if you know this or not. He wanted to be in Any Given Sunday.
Oh,
He wanted as to the quarterback.
Yeah, he wanted to be. He wanted to be Willie Beeman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he auditioned, but Oliver Stone told him no. And then he went into another movie. You ever seen the movie Made with Jon Favreau and what's his face, tall dude, Vince Vaughn. They were both in a movie called Made, and Diddy was in it. He's the name of his character is Ruiz.
Mm-hmm. What about what he did in
That's a good movie though. Check that out.
In the movie that he's talking about smoking the Jeffrey, and he got the homeboy rubbing the wall. That's not Made. No. That's get him to some shit.
Get him to the Greek.
Yo, he's
and
mad
when he's chasing him, that's how you get a motherfucker.
It's funny. He was in Monsters Ball with Billy Bob Thornton and Halle Berry.
Yeah, but definitely
wow. Diddy got his shit off.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Diddy, he's a fucking incredible artist in every
personality
aspect.
Just all around.
Yeah, in every aspect, you know.
100%.
All those remixes. He's the king of the remix.
You know what?
He invented the remix. He
can't even argue that. Fun little fact, Money Burns. 98, 99, I'm on a flight to Tampa. My brother-in-law, my sister, everybody there. It just so happens, if you remember when Diddy brought out the Sean John Velours, we had the Navy joints.
Yeah. Definitely.
I happened to be, I caught first class off of on the strength, like showing love and shit. My brother-in-law tells me, yo, don't you know that somebody just asked me if you were Puff Daddy because I was wearing the navy blue velour. If you remember, you had that shit, and I was rocking it. Yeah. Swear to God, swear on everything. I thought that shit was funny. Hilarious.
Yo, shout out my boy Francisco, aka Cisco. He got me Diddy's autograph like on a headshot.
True.
And Mom Dukes actually has it because she's a big Diddy fan.
True.
Diddy.
So she got that, but yeah, definitely shout
Puff
out
Daddy.
to Diddy, man.
Yo, Black, so you were Black Daddy on that flight.
Yo, I swear to
Black
God,
Daddy.
listen, I don't know how the fuck I look like Diddy, but because I was wearing the Sean John, once again, courtesy of Money Burns Navy shit, back then when the shit was
man.
fly, the velour,
Yeah,
swear to God,
Yeah.
kid.
you got
Well, those will come back.
Yo.
Watch.
Alright,
Yo, and you know, Puff been out like doing parties and shit forever. He
Right.
was the Stampede that's always linked to him at City College.
Right, yeah, true.
Way back. I'm talking
True.
like 1991.
Yeah,
so he
right.
was down with Heavy D,
Right.
like dancing for Heavy D and
Right.
shit. And he put himself on, man. Like I give him so much props.
Yeah,
man, to
true,
become
true.
a not only a mogul, but also you know, a staple in hip hop. That's a great pick, man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True that.
Man.
Shout out to Diddy and
True
Bad
that.
Boy and that whole legacy. Yeah, Puff Daddy. Black,
Mark.
before you give us our number ones, give us your honorable mentions, please.
Honorable mentions, without a doubt. Who didn't make my list, but you know, Dr. Dre, without a doubt, gets props. He gets put into my honorable mention. Easy Mo B Mo Easy Music, he gets honorable mention.
Nice.
I'm surprised Dr. Dre hasn't come up. Well, I'm
me
not
too.
surprised because of my opinion, where I think Dr. Dre's overrated even more than like a DJ Premier.
Right.
I think his beats are rip-offs, blatant and like sad rip-offs. Like he really don't be adding shit.
But that's what I was saying before, that it's easy to take a certain amount of music
And I
just-
don't even want to like talk negative about Drake because he
No,
got
no,
classics.
no.
And,
He
and-
does have classics.
and-
He does.
Only reason why he didn't make my top 5 is because I'm going off of more people that I can relate to who, you know, made me shake my ass, more of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah.
who I vibe with. boy,
No, I feel you.
know?
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that a lot of people consider him one of the top greatest producers of all time.
Right.
And I guess I'm a little surprised within our circle he's not more revered. But again, I understand why.
Yeah.
And granted, he's from our time, even, so you know, not to shit on him or nothing.
Exactly, and it's not.
I
shitting on him 'cause
excluded
love
him from. I excluded him for the simple fact there's a lot of opinion on whether or not he made most of the beats that he did that are linked to him,
Right.
along with Diddy. You know, so that's, you know, regardless of what, I'm going with people that I would say don't fall into that category. You know what I mean? And that's why Dre didn't make it. But he's definitely respected, and same thing, a hip hop mogul, man. Like you can't deny Dr. Dre's strength and what he's done
Right.
and
Yeah.
things that are linked to him.
Easy Moby also, he did a lot of dope work with Biggie and Tupac, so I totally get that. Any other honorable mentions?
I got Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? He's in my honorable mention.
Oh no! I mean Black. My bad.
Oh, my
Before you give your number one.
Um,
My bad, brother.
you know
Black.
what? Just all the others that y'all have mentioned, Track Masters for sure. Shout to you, Nando, because I hadn't even thought about them, but when you mentioned them, you know, absolutely, kid. You
Yeah,
know?
they deserve it. They're
Yeah.
there.
All
Without
right.
a
So, who would be your last entrant of your no order list?
You know, though he was mentioned before as Primo, you know, I once again thought the man was superb. Biggie reached out to him, Jay-Z reached out to him,
Everybody wants to work with
Guru, you know, of course, that's a given, that's part of his team.
his legacy.
But back to what you were talking about, flipping the double tracks where he switched the beat. Black Fact, for those that don't know, check out the In My Lifetime remix where it's not the one from the album, but it's a different beat that he
where
drops
spits
on that
it-
where
he
he
spits
just
different
spits something crazy,
Yeah,
crazy.
he spits something.
He
Something
spits
a
different,
whole
yeah.
different verse.
Yeah.
Crazy
When it flips
to the
yeah.
intro. to the Yalia sample
Yeah,
intro.
yeah, yeah.
1 in a million.
1 in a million.
Crazy, bro.
Jigga?
Crazy.
There's
yes.
2 versions to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
there
drops
is,
a
yeah.
different beat to the second
I
one.
knew that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's 2
Oh,
versions
yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Ooh.
I never heard that.
Black.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a
Ooh.
classic track. You telling me you don't like that Primo beat?
Yo.
Wait, Aaliyah's 1 in a million?
Yeah.
Where he
to
flips
where
it?
he flips. You remember
Amelia.
the intro to?
With the
It's not
piano.
Volume two.
Aaliyah's 1 in a million. That's
So-
a million and one question.
Yeah. Okay. But that's the sample from 1 in a million.
That's what I'm
Not
saying. the
Aaliyah,
sample.
that's
But he
Yeah.
flips
He
a different
He
beat
He
to
flips
the
an
intro,
Aaliyah sample.
and
I know.
Jigga verse,
what
you
you're
know,
talking
he
about.
drops a
Yeah.
whole different verse. Crazy, rips it,
Yeah.
rips it.
Oh yeah. Damn. Oh, quick thought.
Oh,
I was writing down everyone's list.
right.
What everybody was picking?
Yeah, I only wrote down 3. I wrote Havoc, Marley Marl, and Pete Rock. My bad. So I'm gonna
My
go
man
back.
High.
I'm gonna go back and listen to the show, and I'll write the list down, and then I'll post them on the gram so that people can vote on their list. All right. So Black's final entrant was
Primo.
DJ Premier. Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Premier, classic producer.
Nice.
We talked a lot about. So Mook, honorable mentions followed by your number 1 pick.
I got you, but first pass that loud, man, because I'm trying to get where you are. As high as you are.
As high can get.
So I got a couple honorable mentions that will morph into others people's picks, like Neptune's, Havoc, Justice League. I had
Right.
some honorable mentions that we didn't talk about. Well, I mentioned the Beatnuts before, but
Nice.
also
Yeah,
Eric
dope.
Sermon.
Yeah,
Eric Sermon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's
True,
definitely
true.
dope.
True.
That's Dillinger.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
definitely.
Got Storch.
How about any new producers? You like any new guys?
I'm not gonna play myself out and try to like name somebody out of thin air, you know. So I'll refrain. I'm maybe like I don't fucking know. Oval Sounds if they're a group or whatnot.
Oh,
But,
like
that I can think of
40
right
does
now.
a lot of Drake work.
Yeah.
So he might be
I'm
a
not
dope.
sure.
Oh,
40
I know what you're
maybe.
talking about. Okay.
There's a producer, I don't remember his name. He does really dope little videos on Instagram where he'll go like on a rooftop with his computer and a drum machine, and he'll kind of recreate a beat, but he'll flip it into a modern sound. Damn, I wish I had written his name down because I wanted to shout him out because I think his videos are really dope. But new producers, I don't think I know many by name.
Will I Made It?
Will I?
Will I Am?
Pretty-
Oh,
pretty
Will,
dope.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Will
Will-
I Made It? Yeah.
Will I Made It? Yeah.
What's the
pretty
guy
dope.
from Atlanta? Not DJ Mustard. He's from California.
Beethoven?
Young Metro. If Young Metro don't trust you,
Metro
I'ma shoot you.
Boomin.
Metro Boomin.
is
Yeah,
dope,
yeah.
That's your woman.
Yeah,
He
he's
makes
dope.
shit.
He's dope.
All right, so
But yo, let me name these cats as well because they deserve to be mentioned. Swiss Beats,
Yeah, nice.
True.
High
True.
Tech,
Yes.
High Tech,
Yes.
yo,
Kid Capri.
True.
Who else? I had. Oh, yo, man, there's this. I don't know if y'all know about this producer. Burns probably knows because he does the reading a lot. But there's
The
a producer that used to make beats for Tupac, and he did a lot of work for Tupac on his albums.
it was a West Coast producer.
Yeah, West Coast producer. His name is Johnny J.
Yeah, Johnny J, of course.
Yeah, he also used to
course.
sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would do the singing too.
Right.
Yeah, man. When I tell you that he got songs that are dope on Tupac's album, I think it was All Eyes on Me and maybe
Yeah.
Machiavelli even.
Machiavelli.
Yeah, he's on Machiavelli too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Johnny J,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Dope,
know,
dope.
I know who you're talking about. All right, so who's your number 1 pick?
All right, hold on. Last honorable mention is a crew of producers known as the Digging in the Crates crew.
Okay.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Yo,
Primo, Buck
all
Wild,
love goes to this crew.
Lord Finesse.
All love goes to this crew.
Yeah,
And the
that's like a whole
dopest
team
one
of-
to me,
Diamond D.
yeah, Diamond
Lord
D,
Finesse.
Buck Wild,
Yeah, Buck
AG,
Wild.
Showbiz.
Primo.
Finesse.
Primo.
Right.
Showbiz, yeah, like I'm talking about flavor ass producers.
Yeah.
The number one out of that crew, yeah, you just mentioned it,
Primo.
DJ Premier, which is
Yeah.
my number one.
Yeah.
He's always gonna be my number one hip hop producer, and here are the reasons. Not only does he have like the hottest songs that you can name on Biggie and Jay-Z's and Nas'
And Nas.
album,
Right.
True.
and Nas's album, just him doing work for Guru alone, for Gangstar, like Burns mentioned that he likes them as, you know, with Gangstar. He's the dopest fucking producer, man. Like he goes back to an era that it was grimy to shiny to back to grimy and underground, and like he puts together tracks that will give you a feeling that you never had before if you're not a hip hop enthusiast and you go in and do the listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's crazy
The
that
hot-
he can. He's so known for the New York sound, and he's originally from Houston.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's synonymous with
But
New York
but
hip-hop.
moved to Brooklyn early, I think, right? He
Oh,
moved
yeah,
to
yeah.
BK early.
He
He
moved
read
when
BK.
he was like 17, some
Yeah.
shit like that.
Same thing with Guru. He's from Massachusetts.
From
and
Boston,
he moved
right?
to,
From
to New
Boston.
York.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Roxbury or some shit. But
Beantown.
I'll give you my top songs by DJ Premier. They're gonna be I'll probably say The Wick, which y'all mentioned before is one of the hottest songs, throwback hip hop songs with them and Nice and Smooth and Flavor. Betrayal by Guru
True.
and
With
Scarface.
Scarface, of course.
That's a dope
If
track.
you listen
True.
to that track, man, they
Of course.
paint a movie.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Dope ass
Both of them,
beat.
both of them.
Represent by Nas.
Oh, absolutely. That's my favorite beat on Illmatic.
New York State of Mind might be one of the hottest songs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, part 1 and part 2 are dope.
Yeah, part 2 is dope
Word is
too.
born.
How he flips
Yeah.
all the movies and shit. That's another thing we forgot to mention. Like
Word is born.
how he has such a knowledge of just mad cuts on different records, and he's able to go to
Yeah,
that to
man.
make hooks out of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Didn't
Like-
he do the Evils for Jay-Z? The
Yeah, yeah,
Evils?
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
and also
Funny thing is that you mentioned that though. Jay-Z is the one that told them all the cuts. He's like, I need you to drop this one, Prodigy, Snoop Dogg. He's the one that told him, and he told him how to do it all over the phone and shit. And then Premier's like, all right, come to D&D and we'll lay it down and shit.
really,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's nasty on
Yeah.
going back to that album. And also he did another track on there for Jay-Z,
He did Friend of Foe.
Friend of Foe, man. That shit is hard.
He did Friend of
man.
Foe 1
Come
and
on.
2. And they're both fucking
Yeah,
hard
man.
songs, yeah. I love those
Hard.
songs. I love those tracks.
Yep.
And everything that you
Some
could
of my
put,
favorite
on
Jay-Z
Jay-Z's and Biggie's albums. There's a song that he did on Volume 3 that I was at the club one time, and I knew. It's funny because Vern said that he doesn't like when he knows a producer's too much, but just the fact that I knew that it was him was dope to me. And I'm like, damn, they're putting this track in a club, and it had, I had it.
What song was it?
popping.
So Ghetto?
So Ghetto.
Yeah.
And it was like, the album hadn't even come out.
Yep.
And I knew it was a premiere
the bootleg?
track, and
Yeah.
Jay-Z ripped it. Oh my God, he ripped.
Yo.
Before even the bootleg came out,
Uh-huh.
it was popping in the club. The DJ got it. I think it was some DJ called Dennis the Menace, and he
Dennis
had
the
some
Menace.
exclusive shit. Yo, he had some exclusive shit. A New York DJ. I don't know, man. DJ Dennis the Menace. back in the day.
think he's on
Club
the
Blue
97.
Angel.
Blue
Club
Angels,
Monaco.
man, fuck Club Blue
Monaco.
Angels.
Just to counter, listen.
He had it poppin'. He had it poppin'.
Fuck Club
Yo,
Monaco.
I seen Diddy in Blue Angel, Burns.
Nah,
seen
man,
Diddy in
fuck
Blue
Club
Angel.
Blue
Yo,
Angels,
just
bruh.
to
Word.
piggyback
Yeah,
off
when-
what you're saying. Just to piggyback
Yeah.
off of what you're saying with Burns, counter the sound. Christina Aguilera, he produced for Christina Aguilera, Money Burns.
Yes, that was
That's
some-
all I gotta say.
I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
nigga.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
some,
yeah.
some of his
And-
best work is when
and-
he got out of his zone
Okay,
and
there
got
you go.
more originals, such
Those
as
beats
when
on
There
he
you
that,
go.
on that
So
Christina album.
my
dope.
number
Yeah,
one
I think
song,
that's dope. Yeah.
my number one song by Premier
Go ahead.
is gonna be Mass Appeal, man.
Nice.
And
Okay.
That's a good
Yeah.
song.
it
Choice.
brings me to a time. I'll tell you where it brings me to. I'll tell y'all where it brings me to.
Juice.
The first time we met Burns, I think was in like 7th grade, and he lived
Big forehead,
in-
high top
down
fade.
the
Go ahead.
block, down the block from where this boy. He lived down the block from the school, and behind his crib, he had a little shack. And in that shack, he was DJ and had like neighborhood kids come through, whatever. And
BD
I didn't really fuck with too many
Gemini's.
people.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really fuck with too many people, but Burns one time invited me to the crib, and there was mad people running through there, or whatever, and he had, I believe it was Mass Appeal on wax,
For sure.
and he put that shit on and started like mixing, and I was like, yo, this is the hottest shit. I don't know if I had heard the song before or not.
Wow.
But
I've
it just
never
brought me
heard
back to, like-
I've never heard that story. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. It brings me back to that time, and like,
Nice.
I mean, I that's how I remember it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's
and,
beautiful,
that's
bro.
dope.
And,
You know?
that was
And,
that was the original Club Joe's.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the
the
first
original
Club
Club
Joe's.
Joe's,
Nice.
Yeah.
where this born.
Nice.
And nobody I knew before that
Had
fucked
it.
with wax. You know, like there was DJs that I knew maybe like from New York and shit, but that from the neighborhood, nobody that I knew from the neighborhood fucked with wax. And my dad had given me the original LP for Sugar Hill Gang. I don't know which song it was, but it was a whole LP, I believe. And the LP to that movie where Ramo dies at the end.
Beat Street.
Beat Street.
That B Street, yeah, man, that they're spray painting and shit.
Yeah.
And I had those 2 albums on wax on Technique 1200. I didn't know what to do with that shit. I wasn't no fucking DJ, but my dad bought it for me when I was a jit. I might have been like 8 years old.
Nice.
And after that, Burns was the only one, and he threw that fucking Mass Appeal on, and nigga, ever since then, I fucks with DJ Premier, my niggas.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna say I fuck with DJ Sub Zero, nigga.
Oh, that's definitely, man. Come on, we in the same camp.
Word. Nah, that's such a. I've never heard that story, man, and that was a beautiful story, bro.
That's
I appreciate
dope,
that.
that's
So
dope,
that's
that's
dope.
motherfucker, yeah,
That's
man.
dope.
That was me and Black. That was when we started. We was partners.
Sub Zero and DJ Scorpion.
Ah, y'all so
Fatality.
Yeah, good times. And yeah, that was one of my favorite records to play because, like I said, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Also.
That's a good song. That's
And
a
I
great song.
remember First Class had just some real dope shit with that beat on a mixtape. And that was like something I always aspired to do. Because he was a dope DJ. But yeah,
Nice.
man, definitely. Shout out DJ Premier.
Where?
IVS, honorable mentions, followed by number 1.
Like I said before, Jay Dilla. I think he's a direct descendant of Premier and Marley and all them. Of course, like I said before, Havoc. Who else? Diamond D. Even Wyclef. Wyclef is a dope producer.
Yeah, wow.
True.
Wyclef is
I hadn't even thought of that.
Good.
True.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
fuck
Good
with
honorable mention.
I
True
fuck
that.
with
Yeah, for
Wyclef,
sure.
man. I like him. He's rhythmic, man. Real rhythmic. Who else? Let me see.
Wyclef is one of those that'll make you a beat with just a guitar right here.
DJ Scratch. I fucks with him.
Yeah.
I love him. Like you said,
Busta
Eric-
Rhymes. True.
Yeah.
True that.
He did mad work on Busta
True
Rhymes,
that.
Flip Mode shit. Who else I got honorable mentions? Like This guy Mook said the Beat Nuts. I love Beat Nuts work. Beat Nuts were always dope to me. Digging in the Crates was always dope to me. Dungeon Family.
Okay, true. They never
Right.
get mentioned, but you're right.
I fucks with them. I
Yeah,
fucks with them. heavy.
Outcast.
Outcast and all that shit. I fucks
Word.
with them.
Nice.
Who else? Let me see. Damn. Mad fucking people I know I'm forgetting and I'm gonna get killed for it.
You remember Alamo Pause? He
Huh?
used to fuck with
Hell
Nubian.
yeah. Hell
Alamo.
yeah. Hell
DJ
yeah.
Alamo.
Hell yeah. New producers. I don't know if you heard of Static Selector. He's dope. I like him. He's like a white premier. He's dope. I fuck with him.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
RNS, DJ RNS, he's dope. I fuck with him. There's a few of them, man. They're dope. You just gotta find them and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My number one pick is Kanye West, man. what I'm saying?
Kanye.
That's my number. We spoke on Kanye and the brilliance of Kanye. And then, like I said, I'm going in chronological order. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? What he did up until this point is incredible work. You know, I remember going to the Glow in the Dark concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, we was all there. That shit was. I mean, he was up there by himself, and he put a fucking show together. I was impressed. I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, that was amazing. That to watch that was dope. You know what I'm saying?
And me being the biggest non-Kanye fan at the time,
I can't believe you went.
it was alright.
Come on, man. It was dope, man. You're such a hater.
It was alright. Nah, Kanye, like I say, he puts on a good show and he makes big songs that are
Yeah.
good in that environment.
Favorite beats from Kanye.
Kanye.
You know what I'm saying? Some of my favorite beats. I love Roses from Late Registration. What was the one? The one for his mother. Hey Mama.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I love that
man.
shit. I love that song.
He had the crack
For sure.
music
Yeah,
on that
crack
one,
music.
and he had the one with Nas, We Major,
Yeah, we major.
two really dope.
The shit at the
beats,
end with
with
Cam.
Cam, yeah,
That shit
Cam and
gone.
Common.
That shit is gone.
yeah.
Then
that
the
was
shit
super
with
dope.
all the work he did with Common. The Corners. I love that fucking song.
Yeah, that's a hard.
Damn, I love that
Hard
fucking
beat.
Kanye beat. I mean, Kanye flipped just so many different styles and shit, and he was.
Didn't he do Gold with Common?
He did
Gold?
all that
Yeah,
shit. He
Gold.
did that whole album. He did that whole album.
Yeah.
Then when he did, I love his Yeezy album. Everybody hates that album. I love that album. That's a fucking amazing fast forward, like ahead of its time. People are gonna appreciate it much later and shit.
Which
to me,
album?
Yeezus.
Yeezus, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dope album. That's a dope
Yeezus.
gym album to me. yeah, I play that shit in the gym. There's a lot of energy on that album.
That's a fucking raw energy. Like, Dark Fantasy. That's a dope album.
Yeah,
Mad
that's
Tracks
a lot
are
of
dope.
people's like favorite album.
Yeah. And the shit about Dark Fantasy is like that's his apology record for when he, fucking told Taylor Swift, you don't have the best fucking video or whatever. And that was his apology album. And then fucking Yeezus was his big fuck you album. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want.
I'm saying I just got to graduation people,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
just give me time, give me a couple years.
I'll put you
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah,
I
I'll
got
get
him
there.
on, baby.
I'll get there soon enough.
Just make sure you skip Love Break and 808. So Heartbreak and 808. Just skip that shit.
What? That album got me through some things, man.
Wow.
That album
It's
got
like
me
2 or
through some
3
things.
songs. That's it.
Nah, I love that album. Heartbreaks and 808s, 808s and Heartbreaks. I love that album. That shit got me through some things, man.
That's what I mean about Kanye.
Yeah.
He can go through so many different sounds.
I hold that album personal. Like that album is close to my heart because I was able to not fucking kill myself.
Thank God. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my number one and like examples. Like I said, anything on Yeezus, Blood on the Leaves. Listen to that beat, man. That the build up to that shit when he starts off with the sample, then he adds the pianos to it and shit. Then that shit is fucking amazing, yo.
Yeah, that's a good album.
Yeah, so that's my number one.
And I like that the sounds on that album alone are so different and drastic and
From everything that he had done up until that point.
yeah. That's the album to me that was in like industrial sounds.
Yeah, very
Like real
sparse,
metallic,
very, yeah.
What a dope album. All right. So my honorable mentions are Swizz. He knows how to fucking get you hyped up and makes dope like anthems and shit.
True.
Timbo, who we said makes, you know, a lot of different spacey, alien, fucking out of this world, different shit, and it just sounds super dope. Beats by the Pound, the in-house
Okay.
producers
True.
for
Who held down No Limit?
who helped out No Limit.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I really fuck
True.
with Beats by the Pound, and they were doing whole albums.
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of them, you know, they were doing a lot of fucking music.
Hits.
Yeah, and they have a lot of hits under their belt.
They did that song that I fucking love by No Limit, Dope Like That, or Dope Like This, or Crack Like That.
Crack like that.
Master P, no?
Master P.
Ghetto
They did that beat?
Ghetto
They
D,
did that?
yeah.
Ghetto D.
Ghetto
Yeah.
D, that's what it
Yeah.
was, Ghetto D.
The
They
Eric
did
B,
that?
Yeah.
They flipped the Eric B and Rakim
Yeah,
shit.
they
Yeah,
did that?
they
They did that?
Killed
That's
it.
dope.
Yeah, that was
That's
them.
my
Yep.
favorite No Limit song right
Yep.
there.
They did
Killed that
when Mystical was on No Limit.
True. True.
That
Yeah.
album, that shit was, I think it was called Tarantula.
Yeah. No. Tarrant. No. That was. I'll get back to you.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. But that was a dope album. I love what they did there. I love what they did with the original True. A lot of Master P albums, C
Wow.
Murder albums,
Silk
the
the
Shocker. Silk the Shocker. Then they had like,
It was unpredictable, by the way.
It was
You got
unpredictable.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was. Yep.
Who was the girl on No Limit? That was Mia X. No?
It was
Mia
Mia
X.
X.
Yeah, that was Mia
100%.
X.
Yep. Yep.
What's that one song with the piano? Dun, 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 dun. We No Limit Soldier.
Oh yeah, that
shit.
was No Limit Soldier.
Alright.
No Limit Soldier.
She rips that
Yeah,
verse.
heck yeah, heck yeah.
She kills that
Oh, yeah, you
verse.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
So shouts to them.
True.
Heat Makers, who did all the Dipset.
Right.
Well, not all, but you know.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, we
Yeah.
forgot
Good portion
about
of
Heat
Dipset.
Makers.
Yeah, Heat Makers.
Damn.
They got fire shit, and they're still doing dope shit because they put out a Dipset song a few months ago. I think, or a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Real quick, somebody that's a la Heat Makers that I forgot to honorable mention. That's a newer producer, A-Rap Music.
A-Rap Music, yeah,
He's
does
dope.
shit.
I fucks with him.
He's dope. He's dope.
Just Blaze.
Yes, I
who
forgot to
was,
mention him.
The
shit.
you know the side, not the sidekick, but it was him and Kanye holding down
Yeah.
Rockefeller.
Yup.
And Just Blaze got a lot of big songs with
Big
with
artist.
Jigga that I think are super dope, and I always talk about the same ones: PSA and Encore.
Encore is
Encore
Kanye.
Nova. Kanye, yeah. PSA and another one, damn. Whatever. But my favorite Just Blaze track.
What, December 4th?
No, even though what they do is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Freeway.
What we do.
Oh, okay.
What we do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Freeway.
That's
Yeah.
my
Freeway,
favorite.
yeah.
That's
Even
my
though
favorite.
Yeah.
Just Blaze track. Yeah, so that's my honorable mentions. Now for my number one, I'm gonna take off my glasses. I'm gonna get mad serious right now.
Yo, Burns.
This nigga's gonna fuck
hold
up my vibe.
I
again.
wouldn't jump in unless we didn't have to shout out Manny Fresh because we mentioned the South and Alchemist, my nigga. Alchemist.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot
Dope-ass
Alchemist.
producer.
Yes. My
Dope-ass
bad.
producer.
All right, go ahead, Burns.
I know we're forgetting some other ones.
Oh, yeah. I did, like I said, I know I forgot a gang of people, man.
Too many.
Scott Storch.
All right, my number one producer
All right, go
ever,
ahead.
my favorite, and it's a crew of producers. My favorite crew of producers that produced the most memories in my life, that give me the best feelings and make me feel the best whenever I hear the music. And it's such a vast array of music that's goes from classics, shit like fucking Hypnotic, to R&B joints that these motherfuckers did. And I know they not the most well-known producers on a global level, but they done produced my whole album. They done produced the whole catalog for Last Breath Entertainment. None of this shit sounds alike. It's all different. VS comes along, those Premier Havoc veins, and then we got Nice One, who just He got some fucking theatrics and some dramatic shit. We got P Wise, P Wizzy, who comes through with the straight gutter fucking sounds that it sounds like a nigga stepped on the beat tape, and then the nigga stepped on the beat tape, and then he brought it in and played it, and that shit sound like that, like it's half broken, but it's just so ill. Yeah. We got Brother Menace who threw in a couple classics in there. We got Bori. Who was down with Bori? Dream Beats, Ralphie the Kid, Brother Black, the Black Dawn had a couple tracks that he came through with.
Butter Beats.
And for those that don't know, these are the producers for Last Breath Entertainment.
Word.
They have no official title. I call them the Breath Boys. I call them my brothers. These motherfuckers have made the music the official soundtrack to my life, to everything I've done, to everything I can and will accomplish at this moment in my past and every moment going forward. Like, we're still doing not so much music, but their music now comes back to me, and you know, it in a way is more relevant now than it was when it was coming out, you know, and I feel like it's probably reaching more people now, 20 years down the line, than it ever did when it was originally produced, and I'm so grateful that I still have it. I'm so grateful that we did it. I remember every fucking session. I remember every beat when it, well, I'm lying. I'm not gonna say I remember everything.
Probably.
I'm not gonna say I remember everything. I got gassed in my speech mode, in my Grammy speech mode. Yeah. But just so much love to my brothers, and I want to acknowledge y'all while we're here and while I can, you know. And if no one ever did, I just want to tell y'all that y'all made the most fiery shit I ever heard in my life, yo.
No doubt.
The day I die, like that's the shit that's gonna be playing in my ears. You feel me?
No doubt.
And that's my number
shit, my
one.
nigga.
Yeah,
Word
man.
up. That's a great number one. Yes.
He got that off right through.
Yeah, man.
Too much. And he's real. He's being real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. There's nothing bad I can say about y'all. And like I said, there's such an array of music that people can check in, and they can check the SoundCloud, and they can check other, you know, they could hit me up on the gram or whatever if you want to hear something, and I'm gonna continue to just put music out and try to remaster it and just re-put it out for my own enjoyment, first and foremost, because I love listening to that shit and I want to hear it better. But then also because I want the world to discover a music that I think is passionate and beautifully made and deserves to be heard by more than just the select few who got to hear it when it was originally mass produced. Yeah. So shout out to y'all, man. Much love to y'all. Word up.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So
appreciate it. Much appreciated, man. Much love.
Yeah, man. So I think that's it for episode 4 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I'm gonna write down all these lists and I'll put them up on the gram so all the listeners can give some feedback on who had the best list. I also want to hear from y'all. What's your list, your top 5 favorite, and why? What do you consider your criteria that makes a good producer?
Yo, we're gonna do sign off.
Yeah. I was just gonna say we could do sign off, so you could go ahead if you want to set it off with the sign off.
Go ahead, Mook.
I'm gonna set it off with naming my niggas aliases. Burns, you brought it full circle, my brother, man. Yo, if we don't give you enough props, you get all the props in the world, my brother. I love you forever, kid.
Oh, man.
The head to what is Last Breath, LBE, Knockout Entertainment, going back to the KOE days, and you know, the crew, man. So you know, it starts off with my brother Nice One, aka Nice, aka SK. My brother Menace, aka Nice's little brother. My brother B Wise, aka Wise, aka Papa Shango.
Papa Shanks.
What? My brother Bori, aka Bori. My brother Black, aka Black Dawn, aka DJ Scorpion, aka IC12, aka Butter Beats. And my brother, like none other, the boy, the one that had the vision along with Burns to even start Knockout Entertainment, the brother Harv,
Word.
aka VSOP, aka VS, aka Explicit,
Explicit
aka
Beats.
Ray Sugar Cut.
Ray Sugar, cut. aka at one point cut Ray
Knockout
Sugar.
Entertainment, baby.
At one
Boy,
point,
Sugar.
aka cut Ray Sugar.
Love y'all boys, man.
Yeah,
This was
man,
a dope.
for sure.
This was a dope podcast. Dope
Word.
pod today. Dope topic. Top 5 producers. Yo, and just to sign off, this is Bloodshot, man. I love y'all, man. Word is born, and to all my whole fam, twin who couldn't be here, my 2 girls and my wife. Love y'all. One holla.
Word. Black.
Had a great time doing the podcast with y'all. My brothers, Last Breath Entertainment all day. You know, wasn't able to be part of the last one, but I loved absolutely every minute of it. Shout to y'all, everybody in the team. Everything is lovely, man. You know, everything is
Word.
lovely.
That's awesome.
All
Harv.
right.
Alright, no doubt. VSOP here, man, aka your favorite producers. So you already know who it is, man. You know, follow, like, comment, all that shit. And you know, I'ma sip champagne with my real friends and real pain to my fucking sham friends.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Burn.
Word. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to everybody for listening. Shout out to my brothers for being here as usual. Remember to always carry yourself with honor and respect. Chin up and chest out. We love y'all.
J Trees, love you, J Trees. Trees.
Treason, baby.
And yeah, that's the sign off.
Facts Medina.
Somebody hit my music.